All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Supermarket Prep. I hope everyone is having an amazing morning. Hope you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I am great. And yes, I had a great day yesterday. I just had a great sort of one and done type trade off the open, and it carried me through the day. I mean, I did end up trading later in the day, but yeah, good day. Good trading day anyways. And it was my wife's birthday, so had a good
That's
birthday
right.
celebration last night.
Yeah.
Always awesome.
Yeah, awesome, man. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear you guys had a great time. Quick look, friends, at our U.S. economic calendar. Here's what we have going on. Excuse me, not that yet. Our trading terminals gappers list, gap up and down. So here's what we have there so far. A couple of things in the green, some in the red. Some names we're very familiar with, like SBET. SBET is on this list up and down all the time. So we'll see what's driving that this morning, and then some stuff on the gap down side of things with some Bank of America. I haven't seen the banks in a while. Bank of America down 2.4. We should be getting into those earnings soon. Is it this week or next week? We'll look at that.
It's next week mostly.
It's next week when they start kicking up here. Yeah.
I mean, we got a couple this week with some airlines, I think, and a couple other things, but not much. Next week is, when we really get moving.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. All right, friends, let's go to U.S. economic calendar and show you what's happening there.
Pretty light day. Yesterday, if you remember, we had nothing. Today, we have almost nothing. Earlier this morning, we had the NFIB Optimism Index. Is really just a survey of small business owners as to how they're feeling about the economy. It's pretty much right on forecast. Nothing to report there. Late this afternoon, we got the consumer credit number. That's basically how much Americans are in debt. They just like to word it differently. And it's, again, not expecting any surprises there. So it's pretty light. Yeah, it feels like after, July 4th, we're just slowly moving into the summer session here. And but that not to say that things have been unexciting, right? I mean, yesterday all the excitement was around Tesla, really, and probably not surprisingly, every time Elon starts to talk politics in one form or another, the Tesla stock suffers. So had some issues there as it was dropping, and today, well, maybe today we can make a little bit of a recovery. It is gapping slightly higher, so we'll see what happens. But other than that, yeah, pretty quiet out there on the news front. It is, people are starting to I don't know, sort of speculate what the tariff deadlines are going to mean. Those are coming up in the next day or two. So lots of sort of views as to what different countries are going to do, I guess, related to that, and what impact that's going to have, of course, on the markets, which has been varied, right? Sometimes we've seen big impacts, sometimes we've seen nothing. So I'm not sure what to make out of it, but all we can do is watch these gappers and watch the market and wait for the next tweet or Truth Social announcement and see what happens.
Yep. Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Yep, absolutely, man. That's exactly what we could do. Just wait and see how that's going to play out for us. All right, friends, let's start diving into this trading terminals gappers list. If I could find it, here it is. Let's start diving in and see what we got going on here. First one on deck this morning, BSGM. So BSGM, we are up a whopping 25% here. Hard to borrow, low flow stock sitting at 16 million shares flow. You can see on the daily has had some couple of green days in the last week or so of trading, but today the big one really moving a whole lot this morning, as high as 17, low 13, hanging out at 14.50 at the moment. Peter, obviously in play today, what's the latest and greatest?
This is another one of these weird companies so it's BioSig Technologies, which is a maker of medical equipment. However, the news today is that they completed their merger with a company called StreamX to become the largest public holder of gold bullion. like we keep seeing these companies that they want to get into stuff that has nothing to do with their core business. In this case, it's more traditional gold bullion as opposed to, stable coin or Bitcoin or whatever else. It's all the rage these days as companies, it doesn't matter what your company does. They do this, let's take a bunch of cash that we've got and we're going to invest it in some sort of asset that we're assume is going to appreciate over time. They have, as part of that merger, they've announced up to $1.1 billion in additional financing that they've secured to launch this gold-backed treasury management strategy. And they've got this real-world asset. God, I love this stuff, guys. Can we rant for a second?
Oh,
So
yes, we can.
Oh my God. So this is where they're like, we're going to invest in RWA tokenization. They're, like we're now well, I mean, hey, we've been doing this forever, but we continue to invent terms to make things sound cool that are actually really boring. They are buying gold, period. So what does RWA tokenization mean? RWA stands for real world assets. Like it's like saying IRL in real life as opposed to just saying I did it. Anyways, I just so okay. So basically, they're actually buying gold. Like that's it. They're just buying gold. So let's make a fancy term, make it sound really cool, and look, I guess it's working, right? Up 20%. Let's go BSGM. Trade the heck out of things, but it's really not all that exciting. They're buying gold.
Yep.
So
Plain simple work sometimes. It really
yeah.
does. But yeah, there it is. I'm not interested in it, friends. Again, I'll probably skip on this one. Let's take a look at the next one. ASST. This is the other one on deck this morning. These guys are up 11%, almost 12. Hard to borrow. Also a low flow sitting. Actually, this is a low flow. Yeah, 14 million shares float. And you can see here it's pretty active. Had a good day yesterday too. Yesterday was very active. You can see a nice pop from about $4 to about again almost 10.50. And today we're looking to hopefully tap that there. So Peter, very active. ASST looks to be in place today again.
You're just trying to poke me here, aren't you? All right, ASST, sure. They in turn have secured $750 million to kick off their Bitcoin treasury business. So they're stockpiling Bitcoin. And as opposed to gold, this one's going Bitcoin. So all right, they've unveiled with in combination with Strive Asset Management their first capital raise to start their Bitcoin treasury business. So again, a Bitcoin again, this terminology, a Bitcoin treasury. They're just buying Bitcoin. Like you can make it sound all fancy. It's like you picture a Fort Knox thing. That's not what they got. Nothing. They've got a wallet,
Oh,
just like you could get. It's just
yeah,
bigger.
that's it.
Anyways.
Nothing fancy, nothing innovative here. All right, and you can see here gapping up this morning again. That news, that type of headline has moved tickers up quite a bit. So they're gapping up 12.6. They had a great day yesterday. Hard to borrow. Don't know if it's gonna be on my list, man. I'm not sure about this one. All right, heading back to the trading terminal gappers list. We got friends. We have the next one on here is SBET. So we saw this yesterday on our list. Again, I didn't watch it. Let's see how it actually traded. So let's go back here. Let's take a look at our intraday action from yesterday. So here it is. I mean, don't know what to think about it. It seemed pretty choppy to me, but a lot of stuff was choppy yesterday. Yesterday was not the easiest day to trade. Eventually, did sell off here into 11 to 1 o'clock, but for the most part, not the easiest opening trade. So, not sure what to think about it today. I probably won't have it on my list. You do got 1.9 million shares traded. It is up 12%. But again, I hope to find something better to trade this morning, Peter.
We're hitting them all this morning. So yeah, SBET has been on and off our list in the last little while. This one, if you guys remember, this is Ethereum, right? That's SharpLink Gaming. It's a gambling company, but that's not what they're doing. What are they doing? They're launching a treasury of Ethereum. So Carlos, one, two, three. We've got gold, Bitcoin, and Ethereum all saying that they're stockpiling it, all which has nothing to do with their core businesses. I guess that's what's exciting this morning. That's what's in the water. So,
Yeah,
you-
that's
all right,
it's interesting.
sure, trade them if you want.
Yeah, yeah. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, friends. I'm not a
Smoke
fan.
them if you
All right,
got them. Yeah. I
all
want
right.
to talk about the
MB,
next one.
yeah, MB.
Master
Is that the name?
Beef.
Yeah, wow, Master Beef. Have we ever heard? We
Master
never heard of
Beef.
this ticker because we would have definitely made fun
Ah,
of it. I haven't. I don't remember making fun of this one.
it did.
Um,
It did come up once. Remember, this is a restaurant group in Hong Kong specializing in Taiwanese hot pot and Taiwanese barbecue. I do remember
yeah.
mentioning them. They did come up
Mm,
once. I can't remember why, but anyways, in this case, they did have some good news that they had issued a secondary offering just to do a capital raise. Not a big one. I mean, they were issuing 155,000 shares, which at their current stock price was about a $620,000 offering. So, not even $1 million. That being said, it was oversubscribed, so they actually were able to raise the price on it and say that they potentially are looking at a second offering. So, and if, by the way, you got in on that, you're feeling pretty good this morning because that offering was issued at only $4 a share, and they opened this morning trading $9 here. So you've already like more than doubled your money. And overnight, it went up as high as 26. So
yeah, that's
this
wild.
is definitely a high risk in play thing here this morning. What's the float on this bad boy? 4 million shares in the float. So yeah, it's hey, low float Palooza if you're interested in that. Master Beef.
Yeah, Master Beef MB. So, not my cup of tea, obviously, but it is, man, as high as 26. Just looking at it now here in the pre-market, and has since then slammed down. So, you know what you're getting into. When you see something like this, you should know what you're getting into. If you do decide to trade this, just be very, very careful. It can work. We saw Andrew trade MBIO yesterday, crushed on this low flow stock. It can
Indeed.
work, but as it can work, it cannot work, and it cannot work very bad if it doesn't work, right? So just be careful. If you find yourself on the wrong side of this thing, you can be in trouble. All right, let's continue here, friends. So, next on the gappers list, we do have we looked at BSMG, MB, ASST. We looked at SBET. SOUN is next here. So SOUN this morning, and don't spell the entire sound, but SOUN, SOUN. We are up 5% today, so 2.2 million shares traded. Not a low flow ticker, sitting at 391 million shares float. The daily has been somewhat active here. You can see that there. Over the last couple of days, we are getting some kind of bounce off of 950 into the most recent highs here, around $12, all the way up to 1264 if we can get there. So, Pierre, this thing is showing some love this morning, or getting some love this morning. Look at the pre-market as well. Great volume, up 5%. What's the latest on this one?
Yeah, I mean, SoundHound is an interesting one. It's one of the many AI stocks that we keep seeing on our list, and it's interesting to me how these AI companies they're focusing on different market segments, right? Like we were talking about Big Bear the last week; they were on the list. They support sort of military construction. I think it's like U.S. ships and submarines. That's where a lot of their AI activity is focused on. SoundHound is focused on a very different segment of the AI market where they have got contracts with restaurants, Casey's General Stores, and Chipotle are some of their big customers, where they're building AI voice-based solutions to try and automate your fast food experience. But SoundHound is, look, it's a company that's seen a lot of growth. Their company has their stock has I think almost doubled in the last year and a half. Because they used to be, yeah, right. So 2024 they were trading at $4. They're 10 now, and they've been as high as 25. So, but they're still not making money. None of these AI firms are making money, but doesn't matter. It's all about the hype. So yeah, look, any given day this thing can move. I don't see any particular news, anything specific like a new announcement or something on SoundHound. So if you guys know of why today, then let me know. But I feel like, nothing else is moving in the forest. So people are picking on these
Mm.
treasury stocks and maybe a little AI just trying to find something fun.
Yeah, see that? I mean, there's just not a whole lot. There's not even one of our usual suspect on this entire list.
No.
Not PLTR, not Nvidia, not any of the Max 7s. I mean, it's pretty strange. All right, let's see what else. SOFI is next. Let's take a look there and see what's happening this morning. These guys have had a great run lately. Hanging out at 14 here for a couple of days in the beginning of June, middle of June looks like. Then since then have really taken off all the way as high as 19. And today they're rocking today, man. They're really moving here. 1.4 million shares traded. So SOFI looks to be in play. And is this all-time highs or daily? Looks, it might be actually, Peter. Let me go back to the left. Let's see here. Let's remove some of these levels. Getting the chart a little too messy. Here we go. I think they're hitting all-time highs here.
Oh, no, it's not.
No.
It is not. 2021.
Yeah, 2021, 2020. You got a couple of days in here that are pretty high. But 52-week high, that's for sure. I mean, and they come a long way here. They're hanging out at $5 not so long ago, a couple of years ago. Back around at $6, down at $9. Today at 19. So not a bad run. Peter, what's going on today? If anything specific, but overall, their daily has been really rocking here.
Yeah, I mean, this is more of a traditional lender, but once again, another one of these companies that they're looking to try and be a treasury. They said that they were also going to be investing here in crypto. So that's what's been pushing them more recently. Today, I again don't see anything specific. I'm not sure. I think it's just it's probably moving with some of the other, crypto treasury type plays. Seems to be hot today. Why is this hot today? Let's see. I haven't looked up the price of Bitcoin.
Maybe we should look at just crypto. Yeah, maybe something going on there. But I don't see any Mara or anything else on here.
No, I mean, Bitcoin is at 108,800, so it's at the high end of where it's been trending over the last month. So that's good. It still needs to break, I think, the 110 level, but I mean, it's up towards the highs. Oh, look at that. Actually, it went, yeah, no. Overnight, it had a good little run here, but yeah, I don't know, Carlos. I think, again, I honestly think it's just a void in the market. It's just, bringing these things to the forefront because nothing else. I don't know if you guys can still hear me or not.
No, I just muted everything. I don't know what button we pressed, but I just hit the mute and everything, and unmuted it once it stopped. I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah, I think I fell in the well.
I know exactly what happened. There it is. It's my fault. When I switched over to this screen, it actually picked up the sound for some reason. It did some stuff that I don't want to explain because it takes too long. But here's SOFI. SOFI is a pretty neat website, pretty clean, Peter. It's like an online banking thing, and I never actually never knew they did.
Yeah, they provide like microfinancing. So I mean, they also provide larger sort of fintech financing. But if you want, like you can see up here, right? You little personal loans, you want school loans, they'll loan stuff against your mortgage. So like it's basically they're a retail loan company again when they're not investing in cryptocurrency.
Yeah, like everybody else is. So there it is. I mean, they look good. They look good today. Maybe a secondary, Peter. We haven't added anything to the list. It could be a good secondary. We have traded SOFI before in the past, and it's done well. So yeah, I'm gonna add them over to our secondary list here, and we'll see if they can hang on to that secondary list there. Might not stay depending how things go. All right. As far as our gap up list, only one left. Oh, we'll look at it. I know it probably doesn't look well because we saw this a couple of days ago and it was pretty bad. It's Oscar Health, and it doesn't look any better today. 480,000 shares traded. It is not a low flow stock because it is on the lower price, but for the most part, it just doesn't trade very well. And you can see that here on the intraday action is not ideal. Daily was a mess. If you look at the daily, look how much movement we got here. Just the ups and downs. So again, it's just a little messy there, but for the most part, not one I'm going to have on the list, Peter.
Yeah. No, me neither. It's wasn't looking that great yesterday. Not easy to trade. I mean, you can see it had one sort of big move higher, but it wouldn't have been easy to get into that. It wasn't that predictable of a move. So
Yeah, yeah, we'll leave it alone. All right, let's see what else.
there, there was a random one that I mean, it's now gapping
Yeah,
down, but it had been gapping up just a
which
minute
one?
ago. It
Hmm?
was on my list. Hasbro Toys, HAS.
H
That's just a
A
random one.
S.
It's a couple of people taking some big positions in it. It looks like
Mm-hmm.
it's got a very unusual 2.8 million shares traded, but got almost no volume other than a couple of big block trades. They did get an
Mm-hmm.
upgrade last week. Apparently, they're invested heavily in educational toys, and that market is expected to grow significantly. So we were sort of joking yesterday about the education stocks out of China, like Hasbro and the educational toys, has got some attention, and Morgan Stanley and Bank of America have given them upgrades, Hasbro upgrades. So
Oh, okay.
anyway,
Pretty nice, pretty nice. All right, let's see what else. So, I mean, that kind of covers our gap up. I see INQ showing up here, just came out of nowhere, and I see IREN as well. INQ up 2.2, 826,000 shares trade. So it is starting to get going here. It can be a tough one to trade, man. What was it? Was it last week or this week? We had a tough time. I had a tough time trading this one, so I'm not sure about it
hmm
today. But again, it's not ideal. It's not my favorite to go to, so I'm gonna keep it off the list. But they seem to be wanting to break out here. Even on the daily, you can see a little bit of action going here. So not sure. You know what? I'm gonna put it on the secondary list just because I want to come back and look at it a little bit later and see if it looks any better. I mean, we have traded it even prior to recently, and it's done well. Like it was one of probably our favorite stocks to trade, but other ones have been much better. But let's see. Let's see what it does here. All right, Peter, anything on INQ? And also, let's go to anything you might like that's gapping up this morning.
Yeah, I have nothing to say on IonQ. Like you said, it may or may not move. One that gives you a better chance of success, I think, is Tesla. We mentioned it earlier this morning, gapping up after the sort of big down day it had yesterday. Most of the down, by the way, yesterday was really in the gap, right? It just sort of gapped down and then held that level. Didn't was actually pretty choppy over the course of the day in a fairly tight range. So I think it's well poised to move today. We'll see what happens. The semiconductor stocks gapping higher. Didn't find any trades myself on Nvidia or AMD or SMCI or any of the rest, but I hope springs eternal for me. I keep watching that sector all the time. Uh, and I should mention Apple once again. Apple had sort of a sad day yesterday, selling off. It was one of those like it was actually a really good, sort of just if you went short and held, you would have been pretty happy because it just was sort of leaking off all day. It wasn't, not a huge move, but a very steady move yesterday. So be interesting to see what it does today with it gapping marginally higher. We're talking like 9 cents higher. So yeah, it's really, really sort of lightly green. Other than that, Carlos, I mean, on the slightly red side, I'll just mention it because it's sort of right around green red, break even is PLTR.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yep.
it's I know it's one of your perennial favorites. Great move yesterday. And if you had sort of gotten on and just rode that one higher, you would have been happy on that side too. So yesterday seemed to be relatively good for either those quick trades off the open, like the one I got on Tesla or that Andrew got on MBio, or just long slow trades. So. Maybe today we can get the in-between ones that, frankly, are normally sort of my bread and butter. So that's what I'm looking for. I need those moves that happen midday and last about 2 to 3 hours.
I had a big day yesterday, and again, if I would have just traded PLTR and watched PLTR closely, we would have had a great move. You guys called it out a couple of times, but unfortunately, we were doing something else. So PLTR, we'll put it on the list. I do like trading. I'm gonna put it right here next to our good buddy Tesla. So PLTR, we'll see what we get out of it today, if anything. All right, let's take a look what's capping down, friends. So let's take a look here. Only 4 this morning. Run. This is Sun Run. Normally does not trade very well, and normally I don't watch it. So I don't see any difference today that's making this all explosive. We are down 9%. We do have 1.1 million shares traded. But again, the intraday action for these tickers, these solar companies, are not great. So I tend to just kind of, stay away from them. I'm going to do the same today, Peter, unless you have anything else to add on this one.
Yesterday, President Trump did sign another executive order, one of his many, where he was ordering the termination of the clean electricity tax credits within 45 days of his big beautiful bill going into effect. So he's adding on to, if he's not getting it through in the bill, because a lot of that stuff was actually taken out of the bill, he's then said, fine, I'll issue another executive order to try and eliminate those credits. So he is really pounding on the solar industry, and if the bill didn't do it, then he'll executive order it. So I think we're going to see a few of these trending lower on the announcement. Again, whether that's enforceable, what it'll look like we've seen a lot of these, right? A lot of executive orders sort of have gotten stuck in the mud. So that being said, it's not good for these solar companies that rely on those credits like Sunrun and Enphase and what are some of the other solar ones? Anyways, all that whole cadre of solar stocks that we watch.
Yeah, there's a few of them here. Again, so more bad news for them. And even then, even with this news, Peter, you would think they'll trade great. And maybe today they will. Maybe today they'll find a way to have a great intraday action. I still don't trust that this is going to be the best look for me, right? Yeah. As far as strategies go. Circle of Internet, again, just circling around here on the daily, so not doing a whole lot, just kind of stuck within this chop back and forth. Did break out a little bit yesterday, but again, we have not seen these huge moves that we're used to. So how well it's been trading, let's take a look. Looks like you out of nowhere you start getting these moves, right? So you get some kind of breakouts and then it just goes flat for a while. Again, yesterday's not a good day to judge it on because a lot of stuff was not clean. There were some great moves yesterday, but they were very limited to what stocks were really trading well, right? And this is on the 3rd, so this is last week. You can see how choppy it is. So I think it's losing some of its volume, and in doing so, right, you could tell here clearly, here's the peak of that, and then we're just kind of coming down here. If it doesn't pick up, it's going to be a tough trader. I think the spread could be brutal at times. So if you don't get the volume, you might not get the moves you're looking for. It might not be worth the risk to reward. So I'm going to keep it off the list. But if you guys start seeing something great on it, let me know. CRCL has been downgraded to 85, Dame. That's a big downgrade. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, I don't think this thing is caring much about technicals right now, to be honest. I think it's just doing its own thing. Yeah, I mean, you'll IPO that. Is this IPO before or no? When is this IPO at? Was it that low that we couldn't even see it? Or was it like a SPAC?
No, it IPO'd recently. It has some weird history on the chart, but it IPO'd around $60, I think. 60.
Okay.
68, $69, something like that. But it's been on a run ever since. I got to give Jared some credit. He called yesterday saying CRCL was going to 207, and sometime 20 minutes before the close, it hit 207. In fact, it hit 208, but it made that last minute run and absolutely hit the target that he had set for it way back at the open when he was buying it at 185 or 190 or whatever the heck he was doing. So yeah, despite the candles looking small, you got to remember, even yesterday's run was like a $20 move, right? So it's giving you trade opportunities. The CRCL has been surprisingly good to trade. So
yeah.
It's decent.
Careful on it. Yeah, careful on it. Again, I like watching it though. I'm not gonna lie. I usually do have it on a pile there to look at. I'll put it on my list. But I haven't traded it yet. Or was this the one that we took like 100 shares or 50 shares? I think this was one that we took a little bit of shares just to see what it does. But for the most part, it's not something we trade here, at least me. All right, let's see what else, friends. A couple of more here to finish up our gap down this morning. NEE is one on deck today, and this is brutal. Yeah, this looks
That's
sad. Looks pretty bad.
big. Do you think these guys are Monty Python fans?
Could
Anyways,
be. Next
there's an
next
old reference for you guys.
next era energy.
Yeah, I can only hope that their headquarters are decorated with a lot of shrubbery. Anyways, all right. There's some references for you there. You guys can have fun with that. Okay, yeah, NEE. They're this is part of the solar we already talked about. Not one of the ones we typically look at, but there you go. There you go. We got everybody in the chat room
Yeah, they're
posting the
going. Yeah,
news
yeah.
now. Uh, anyways.
It's good. It's good. It's getting good there. Um, all right, let's. So yeah, I mean, this is as ugly as it gets. I don't see anything that looks great here as far as us trading is. So I am going to leave this one alone. Again, these energy companies are just not. They're not great intraday trading tickers. You know, even with news, they're not. They're not ideal. Bank of America is down 2.4. The only time I see this is when there's some kind of earnings or something, but. I don't think we'd kick off earnings until next week. You mentioned, right? So maybe some late in the week. 'Cause I think banks kick off like on Friday out of nowhere, right? So, but anyway, down 2.3, 2.1 million shares traded. I'm not liking the action as much. Peter, anything you like on this one?
No, I mean they got a downgrade actually, which is interesting that HSBC Securities downgraded them, and saying that they really think that they're going to hit some difficulties in the next little while. I don't know. I mean, other than that, the banks are the banks. They're always making money. They're relatively boring to trade, and they're hard to trade too, right? I find that the moves are dictated by not by the technicals on the stock. It's by large forces that don't make themselves visible in the market. So bank
Yeah.
stocks are hard.
Yeah, but they're tough. We'll leave this one alone, and that covers. Oh, D-Dog. D-Dog is making a run here. So, D-Dog. Let's take a look. Oh, down. It's capping down 3.5. 460, 46,000 shares traded. So, 446,000. And you look at the drop here. So this was just we were just talking about this last week when it gapped up. Actually, did very well, and now the fund might be somewhat over. So giving some of the gains back here, at least on the day that it ran up. Still nice gap up here, still maintaining, but doesn't look like that wants to hold. Looks like we might get a fill on this gap here. So I like what I'm seeing here, Peter. I don't like the volume as much, and this one could be a little bit tricky to trade, but I do like how their daily is looking here. So I am going to add it to my list. Maybe there could be a failure into that gap that we have there.
Yeah, tomorrow is the big day for DDOG when they join the S&P 500. So there were two companies that were added to the S&P 500, replacing some others, DDOG and Juniper Networks, JNPR. So anyway, so the DDOG jumped on the announcement that they were going to be added, and this is typically what happens, right? Once that buying volume sort of gets settled, it moves back down a little bit. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be any exciting price action. As it gets added tomorrow, it's probably going to be fairly boring. This is just some last minute movement, I think, ahead of that, again, addition to the S&P 500. I honestly don't know if it'll be worth watching. My guess is not, but we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. All right. That covers our gap
Oh, it
down.
replaces
Just
Juniper. Sorry, Juniper's getting removed. I got it. Sorry.
mm,
Sorry,
okay.
I was rereading this. Datadog is replacing Juniper Networks because they were acquired by Hewlett Packard Enterprises earlier. So, in any event.
Got it. All right. So Peter, that covers our gap up and down. Anything else you like gapping down at this point that we haven't covered yet?
Um, We talked about a few of them. PLTR is actually gapping down, so that's on the list. Disney, a couple of members in the room had mentioned yesterday. It doesn't typically get pre-market volume, but it had a sell-off day yesterday. I don't know. Disney's one that like Mike in the chat room and others used to watch. I've always found it a tough trade. I don't think Disney's really in play, so probably nothing to see there. Other than that, Carlos, yeah, other than solar stocks and the news, yeah, I don't have anything else.
All right. Okay. We'll go to you guys. See what you guys like this morning. We'll start here in our chat and see what's going on. Raytrix Trade just pull the trigger on the elite membership, man. Great active viewer on YouTube, so he's gonna be in chat. When you guys see his name come up, give him a warm welcome. So Raytrix Trade is gonna be joining the team here at
Welcome.
BBT. Awesome,
Great
man.
trick.
Awesome, awesome. Um,
Beautiful.
are you gonna keep your name? Because people go over, right? They come from YouTube and they're gonna go to the chat and they change their name and then I don't know who it is and I lose track of them. I lose all history. All history's gone. Happened to Rhino. Rhino used to be like tough or something or rough something. He changed his name. I lost part of the history. It's just that's what happens. But yeah, good man. Congrats. All right, let's take a look here, friends. NDRA. I see a couple of people mention that. I saw that on the top list earlier this morning on Dash Trader Pro, which is what's going through is early. And so this was top of the list here. NDRA is up 173%. 47 million shares traded. I mean, this thing is on fire. Peter, I assume there's got to be some news. Well, not they don't have to be because we've seen stuff move for no reason whatsoever. But is there news on this one today?
Yeah, this is absolutely low float with less than 1 million shares, so got to be very careful on it. And yes, they did announce positive results of a pilot study for their what is this? This is oh, uh, TAEUS? Too many vowels in this thing. Anyways, liver accuracy and repeatability against MRI. So they got FDA approval to extend their development of this Teus liver. So, so good news for them. Low float, which is going to move this thing like crazy. You know, it's we see these low floats every day, right? There's always one or two doing something crazy. Just be careful.
Yeah, just be careful. All right, friends. What else? So in play today, I mean, it's fun to watch. I'm gonna put it here in my secondary risky pile, NDRA.
See a mention of
Again,
Hood. What about
be
Hood?
careful. Yeah, see, I saw that. See Hood here. Hood this morning we're up to 1.2, 1.8 million shares traded. I mean, this thing on the daily has been incredible. The daily has been awesome. I mean, just look at it since April. It has really not looked back past its most recent high. Are we sitting on all-time highs? I don't know. Looks like we might be, guys. Yeah, this is all-time highs. Actually, yeah, we spoke about that last week. So yeah, sitting here, all-time highs. Again, doing very very well. So as far as intraday trading today, Peter, I think it's worth having a look. I could put it in a secondary. I could always move it up. I think it's worth checking out. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, they can move on any given day. I've always found it a little bit of a tough trade. For whatever reason, the technical signals don't match what I often look for. It moves. I mean, even if you just look at yesterday's price action, it had some decent movement there, but I find it tough to manage in my case. They do
Yeah.
have some business news. They are in talks with the European, the UK, or not UK, but European Union regulators that they're looking to try and issue tokenized equity offerings. What does that mean? Well, we already have some offerings like that, the CFDs, if you're familiar with those. But this is where they're looking to. I mean, this is where they're. I don't know. The companies are. I feel like they purposely try and like confuse everything, and they call it a new offering. But what are they looking to do? They're going to issue trade tokens representing shares of U.S. equities on blockchain. So if you just followed what I said, good for you. Essentially, again, it's like just another way to lose money. To me, it's like all the betting sites when they offer you unlimited parlays. They're like, you're right, bet on whatever you want. We know most of the time you're gonna lose, so we're happy to
Yeah.
let you bet on whatever the heck you want. So this feels like Robinhood trying to do the same thing. Why do we need tokens representing shares on blockchain? It's just But then that being said, Carlos, like for years we've had, we got derivatives of all over the place. If you look at options, the options market and the futures market, there are futures of futures on futures. Like, it's just the way the market works. If we can create a more complicated derivative product that somebody's going to buy, why not, right? Somebody's making money off of it. It's probably not the person buying it. So,
100%. Fugazi. So it is.
there you go. Yeah.
All right. What else? What else, friends? Let's take a look. Let's take a look what else we got going on here. BAC, we did look at already, Steve. Let's take one more here. Where's GRRR? This Gorilla Technology, barely any volume right now, so I'm gonna leave it alone. I just don't see much happening there. And Nvidia, let's take a look. Nvidia, Nvidia, pretty quiet right now, but again, it's just kind of hanging out here, just slightly above its previous day close after hitting its all-time highs. 2.6 million shares traded. I mean, we'll look at Nvidia because we're just gonna watch it anyways, whether it's on the list or not. So I'll put it on here, and we'll see what we can get out of it. Circle of Intent is already on the list, so that's good. DJT, Jesse, let's take a look here. Well, how are we doing on time? Actually, we should start wrapping it up. DJT up 4%. Man, I wish I could trade the stock much better. I wish I could, because it gets the volume, it gets the movement, but it's so bad intraday action, man. And it has the clout, like it has the meme with the Trump and everything going on. Like, it could be very memey type stock, but it just trades horrible, So if you're able to trade this, if it fits your strategy, go for it. I think it's a great stock to look at. But every time I look at it, I just don't find any opportunity that fits my trade book. So just end up now wasting time and taking up a slot here. But today's up 4.1, 668,000 shares traded. I seen better gap ups and downs and better pre-market action, and still has not translated to great intraday trading activity for me. So your call if you do want to watch this one. DJ teaches added streaming services. Well, these guys are not adding. Don't they have like a mobile phone? They have the phone, they have the True Social. Now they have a streaming services, which we don't need any more of. Like, we're trying to consolidate. We want to bring stuff back together. This thing where everything is in 20 different places is just horrible. I'm so tired of it, man. I was talking to someone, Peter, where we were talking about a show, and we took more time figuring out where the streaming platform was for that show than actually talking about how good the show was. Come on.
That sounds about right.
What are we doing here? All right. Let's get to our community events announcement, friends. You can head over to bearbootraders.com. Let's take a look. Bearbootraders.com, and you click on webinars, and you can see what's happening for the next 2 weeks. Today is Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. Yes,
it is Tuesday, indeed. Which means we talk strategy and trade book. And if you want to join, we've got a number of different sessions that you can take advantage of today. Starting with tonight's webinar, that's usually the big event. That is happening at 8 p.m. in the webinar room for our elite members. Thor's going to be taking over. He's going to talk about how you can trade S4 and R4 breakouts. He has got some tried and true approaches to manage that, and he's going to go through how he does that and what it means for you. So hopefully you'll join that in the webinar room for all of our elite members. Earlier today, Avi, I see Avi's back. He's in the chat room, so we'll look forward to Avi's live trading session in the webinar room on options. That should be happening at 11. Avi, if you're listening, is that happening? You can confirm that that's going ahead, because I know you've been away having some fun, partying and celebrating, which is, good to do occasionally. So that's always awesome. And then at noon, we should have Brendan's session that's going to talk about DOS Trader Pro and how you can set up and manage that. So that's happening at noon. And then we go from that right through to the 1 p.m. session with their small account options trade book. So you can see we got lots of stuff that's scheduled. So 11, 12, 1, and then 8 p.m. tonight. Lots of things happening. So hopefully you'll take advantage of that if you're a member. Hey, look, Carlos, look who I just see posted in the chat room. Raytrix. Kept the name. Well, welcome to the chat room, Raytrix. I see you.
Where are you, buddy?
You're there.
Here it is.
We got you. Look.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good. Now we know who you are.
There you go.
Welcome to the party, man.
See?
Welcome.
Right. History preserved.
History preserve, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, if
there you
night gets
go.
purged, then you're just whatever fun we had
Yeah.
is over.
Anyways, all right. I just saw Retrix post, so I thought I'd call that. All right,
Nice.
guys. If you want to join us at Bearable Traders, as always, we've got a number of different pricing options for you, from the intro right through to the elite annual. The intro, if you're on YouTube, you can get that $19 deal. We're still offering, and it's just a 1 week trial. If if it gives you what you need, which we hope it would, it is a great community. Then you might consider joining using one of the other packages for a limited time. That elite annual is still happening as Andrew frolics in Portugal. That deal is still on, so take advantage of it while you can. It's 50% off, and it is a great price. So you can just go to our website, click on the join now, and you should get that price pop right up for you. So. All right. While you're doing that, Carlos is going to give us some levels that we can look at. Our moderators are going to get their lists in so I can let you know what they're looking at, and then we're going to head into live trading.
Yep, absolutely, friends. Let's get to it. Let's take a look at our list here. We have Tesla. We'll start with that one. Again, a big drop yesterday, given everything going on with Elon, mainly, not actually at the actual company. But as you can see here, today we're pretty much flat, 2.7 million shares traded. I don't think we're going to stay flat today. I think there will be some movement out of this ticker, so it'll be fun to stick around and see where the action is going to be. 298.87 is the high of the pre-market. The low is hanging out at 295.80, so we'll slam that level right there. If we look at the bigger pictures, just look a little bit outside of this. Again, you can see this level has been support and resistance in the past, right? So we're just back right at this area again. So below that, we do have a level at 283.07. And then we have another one around 304.31 towards the top. I think once you do that, you're pretty set when it comes to Tesla. Let's see if we can get any kind of movement up or down on Tesla today. All right, next on the list we have is PLTR, which again, yes, there was another beautiful breakout. And I was watching something else. So, but PLTR, let's take a look here at the daily high of the pre-market right now. Pretty much slamming into the previous day close. I'm not going to worry about that. Previous day close is at 139.12. The highs at 139.17, so just a couple of cents off. But you can tell this previous day close. Look how good that level is. You got a lot of touches happening there, so you definitely want to have. Well, you're going to have that level mark whether you like it or not. But there's a good reason to do that, right? So 141.13 is a great area as well, and then all the way up here we have another level at 143.53. So very clean daily towards the top, and then towards the bottom, low of the pre-market 138.20. And I think once you do that, you're pretty set. There's just one minor level that's not covered. This is 136.89. I think you should mark that down. You got a couple of days slamming into that. Other than that, the rest highs and lows are doing an amazing job covering the levels there for you. Next on the list is going to be DDOG. So DDOG today, let's take a look. Oh, DDOG looks like it wants to fall off the map here. So we are down 3.6 after a beautiful gap up not so long ago, last week. 146.60 is the low of the pre-market right now, which we're barely trying to hang on to here. Up towards the top, you do have the highs and lows for the last two trading days, doing a good job. The big thing here is this gap down that we have. So let's take a look at the gap down. Let's go back and see what levels we have within that gap down, because I don't expect to cover that all the way through. But if we do lose this 146.59 level, clear level at 144.37, and this stock could move. I know that sounds like, well, $3 move. This stock can move. I mean, the pre-market alone already 153.12 is your high. We're down at 146, right? So just be mindful of the number of shares you take on this one. 142.21 is another great level, and just in case we keep flushing here, we got another decent level at 139.71. I'm just going to do those for now. I can always go back to that area and get more levels if this thing continues to just fall apart here. So we'll see what it does. Again, trying to hold that level as support, but not looking too hot right now. Here's Nvidia. Nvidia's just hanging out just right below its all-time highs. It's just found a good comfortable spot here, just going sideways. But in that comfortable spot, you're not giving us anything. Nvidia, you're pretty quiet. You gave us some really good moves last week and the week before that, and now you're just kind of stuck sideways here. And you can see how nasty it was yesterday. It's in no hurry to go anywhere. They're sitting at he's sitting, they're at the throne right now, right? They're sitting in the king's chair, so there's no rush to go anywhere for them. But I would love to see them do something so we can do something and hopefully make something. So here, 159.85 is the high of the pre-market. The low is sitting at 158. 25. So actually, it's right over here. I could barely see it. It's just right above the previous day close. I'm not gonna worry about that. So if you look at here, it's just right above the previous day close. I thought it was here, but it's down here. So again, the previous day close got you covered there when it comes to that level. Back to the daily highs and lows for the last two trading days, doing a great job. They even got the almost all-time highs covered here. So just mark the high of the pre-market, and you're pretty set when it comes to NVIDIA. Do not have to do anything else. And that's the last one on my list. Maybe we'll ask some more as we move forward here. But before we do that, Peter, take us through what our team is watching this morning.
You betcha. All right, our team has starting to get their list together, and I'll let you know what they're watching. Let me just scroll up here. Okay, starting with Nathan, he's going to be watching the usual. He's got AMD, the Magnificent Seven, and futures. Thor's going to be watching Apple, PLTR, Tesla, and of course his futures contracts. Mike is going to be watching the scanners. Doesn't have anything specific, and I don't blame him. It's one of those days where things are relatively quiet. Eamon's got a long lined up for Apple if it pans out. Brian is going to be watching Tesla, AMD, the dog, Data Dog, NVIDIA, and of course the market indices. I've got Tesla, NVIDIA, and PLTR, AMD, SOFI, Run, and the dog as well. So I think everybody's watching Data Dog just to see if it does anything fun. I don't know. I'm skeptical about it, but I've still got it on my list. Megan's got Apple, Meta, and DDOG. I've got a couple of IPOs that might open today, and when they do, I will let you know. Jared's going to be watching SoFi, Wolf, and the dog. Did he put Wolf on there just to have a bigger canine? I'm not sure. Anyways, he's watching Wolf. He'll let us know if something interesting happens. And Gary is in here with his list watching Tesla, PLTR, Datadog, and Coin. You can see Carlos has got his list at the bottom of the screen. Hopefully that'll give you an idea of the things that you could potentially trade. Whatever you do watch, right? Be cautious as always. We want you to guys have a good, profitable day, and you do that best by sticking to your strategies and playing it smart, not fast and loose. So trade smart, everybody. Should have a good day. We are going to start our transition over to live trading. I see that Brian is out there, and
Yep.
hopefully we've got Andrew somewhere in the wings. I don't know what his travel plans are. How you say he was staying there all week, right? He was staying
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Lisbon.
But I think he has something today. He was gonna try to make it, but maybe couldn't make it. I'm not sure what the plans were.
All right, I'll find out. I'll
Yeah.
text him. He should be well up. He was drinking a beer while trading yesterday morning, so
Nice. Nice, nice. Um all right,
we'll
friends.
find out.
So I see Brian is connecting.
He's got the red light on.
Yep.
He's ready to
Yep.
go.
All right, we'll hop off. I think I just heard Brian say he doesn't think he's gonna be on today, but we'll see. All right. Okay, excellent. Let's continue here on our YouTube chat, friends. We're gonna start getting everything ready to cross over and get everything all set up here. So we'll go to the 1 minute, we'll go to our 5 minute, and just gonna clean this up a little bit because it's a
Wolf,
mess.
wow. Wolf speed up. 60 million shares on Wolf. Dang.
Mm.
Okay. Yikes. How did that
That's
not
a,
hit
that's a
our
lot of volume.
radar?
Mm-mm-mm. They're under five. What's the price on Wolf?
It's ATR. Its ATR is only 40 cents. That's why.
Oh, okay, and it's under $5. I think
That's,
we blocked stuff under
yeah.
$5 too. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
True.
yeah. All
True.
right, so let's see here.
Oh, Brian. Brian's not feeling well, but he's still here with us.
Mm.
I got a good buddy who's got what do I want to say? Kidney stones. He's trying to pass those. Oh my God, that is so painful.
Oh,
Uh,
I heard.
I hope
Don't
not.
know personally, but I heard. How do you get these things? Is it just
Yeah.
drinking too much soda or something like that? I know I'm probably
I don't
feeling
know. It's a
delirious.
calcium buildup. So it's
Okay.
basically just pieces of solid calcium that get lodged
What
in the
the?
tiny little tubes that
Oh,
apparently it's a painful to pass them because you gotta You got to PM out, man, and that is not a pretty thing.
Yeah,
Apparently,
yeah.
it's the
Mm,
closest a man can get to understanding labor pains.
mm,
So, yeah.
yeah.
So,
Too much dairy, red
anyways,
meat, dehydration. Okay.
hey, look, I'm just gonna keep drinking water. That's all I can
Keep
tell
drinking
you.
water.
Hopefully.
That's it, man. Yeah. Keep drinking water.
Yeah. All right, guys, we got about just under 3 minutes to the market open. I don't see any awesome candidates, but I'm going to keep an eye on a few of these things here. I'm adding Wolf to my list just because so much volume, and if Jared says it's good, then don't doubt Jared.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Tesla doesn't look as great as it did yesterday to me. Yesterday, it seemed
Hmm.
it had a very clear direction. Today, I'm not so convinced about its direction, so don't know what it's going to do.
Yeah.
That other one, Carlos, that you had said that you were looking at the NDRA, tons of volume, but very
It's
sketchy.
just, yeah, it's sketchy, man. I
Very
have it here.
sketchy, man.
And actually, I'm going to take it off my list. I don't want people getting confused. This is just entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
Because I don't even have it on my secondary. Like, I have it way down. Look at it go. That is wild. Uh, no, we could
So
put
I've
it
got no
here
trades
with
lined up
BSG.
for the open. So again, unlike yesterday when I was sort of poised and ready to take Tesla off of a setup,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have any setups today. So which means I'm you know, probably going to be waiting quite a bit, half an hour
Yeah.
to an hour in before I find my first trade. But we'll see if something really sets up. I've been, Carlos, your style of trading, I've really, started to watch a lot more because, of course, we're
Nice.
here every morning now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm starting to see them. Like they're feeling more comfortable. If something really sets up, I might consider taking it just to see what happens. But
Sweet, man. Oh yeah,
we'll
well,
we'll
we've
see.
seen you be
We'll
a
see.
lot more active in the
Hmm.
opening trade, which is typically when you're the least active. So that's awesome. It's pretty
That's
cool.
right. Oh, there's
Yeah.
my 1 minute alarm. So.
Sweet, sweet.
Okay. D-Dog. Brian's calling D-Dog for a rising devil.
Mm.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't like D-Dog's price action.
It has a
But
weird price action. I'm not a fan, man.
yeah.
I really am not. And again, we looked at it when it had the big gap up, and some people still traded him and did well. A lot of you guys did in chat, so nice. But I don't know, just one of those
Yeah.
tickers.
It is one of those.
Yeah.
All right, there's the bell, guys.
All right. Ding, 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 ding.
See what we get. See what the dog gives us.
All right. Here we go.
Mm.
The dog is selling down.
Yeah, no pullback on Data Dog, which is normally what I look for to then take advantage of the sell-off. I don't want to go chasing this.
Mm-hmm.
Tesla popping up at the open. Is Brian watching IonQ? Hmm. All right, guys. Well, definitely no open trade for me. I'll keep an eye on things here,
Yeah.
see what
Yeah.
they're doing. Nvidia popping up. Hmm.
Wow. PLTR's
Carlos, it's
taking a hit here. PLTR is getting slammed. Nothing yet. Friends, just looking. Trying to see what we can get here.
Hmm.
INQ. Just looking at my secondary, see if there's anything there, but nothing in the works. All right, primary Nvidia selling down. DDOG. Did I miss one off the primary? No, it's only four. DDOG, PLTR, and Tesla. I think that's it. I think we might have wanted to watch Apple. I'm just gonna add Apple here. I think that's
Mm.
probably one we want to have.
Apple, yeah, Apple's dropping here off the open, but
Put Apple on deck. Good. Nothing looks great. What do you guys like this morning? AMD could be a good short. Selling down. Oracle. Just looking at some of your tickers, guys, because I don't see anything I like on my list right now. Oracle, pretty light volume. Oh, starting to pick up here. This candle. Typical nicey stock, right? The first two are very quiet. Hood. I thought we had, yeah, I have Hood on my secondary list. Oh wow, yeah, Hood is doing his thing. Look at this, man. Stock is so active lately.
interesting. Wow. Nvidia is crazy. Wow, sell off an Apple.
PLTR back above the VWAP. What a range on the candle right now. It's massive. Let's see here.
Mm.
PLTR rejecting off the VWAP. Could be a good short. Could be a good short to retest the lows. Let's see. So I'm looking at PLTR for a possible short, but I'm not too convinced on it. I'll be honest. So that's why I'm not taking it. I'm not convinced 100% that it is a short. I wish this would have happened at the VWAP. Would have been nicer, but I'm not 100%
Yeah.
on it. Yeah, it could have been cleaner. Could still work, but it definitely could have been cleaner. So gonna skip on that. Tesla bouncing, trying to bounce off the VWAP. PLTR.
The market's selling off here, gone
Yeah.
red. At least the SPY has. The Qs are still hanging out in the green, but heading lower.
DDOG. DDOG 5 minute opening range breakdown. I have a feeling the stock is just gonna sell off today. I think it's gonna be one of those, one of those runners just keeps going slowly. It might not give you like a crazy pop, a drop, or flush, but I think it's gonna be one of those dripping type stocks that's just gonna slowly just sell off into the sunset here. It's got that vibe. It's definitely got that vibe. AMD at VWAP. Let's take a look at AMD. Yeah, but if anything, it's bouncing off VWAP, right? So it could be a 5 minute RB. But this is very similar to PLTR. I'm just not loving it. It's very similar to PLTR, right? It's just this bounce off the VWAP here. Could be a good 5 minute RB breakdown. We missed the best entry. Would have been up here somewhere. So I'm not in love with it. I'll be honest. PLTR. PLTR. Let's take a look.
Carlos is not feeling the love.
No. Go
Yeah,
back to D-Dog.
PLTR, things are choppy. Like even Nvidia, I was watching Nvidia, it looked good for a short, but like the range that it was bouncing in was just, it makes it really hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that Brian in the chat room is trading IonQ for a little bit of a trading
Nice.
it long this morning. So he got a okay trade on that. Didn't continue as far as he was hoping. And Datadog. Did get a sell-off.
Yeah,
Again,
I
didn't
think
give me the
Datadog is gonna
pullback I
be a
was looking
short.
for.
Yeah.
It made sense. That's where I was looking at it for a short, but I didn't get the pullback I needed to enter with confidence. So we've got Paris that has joined Brian to live trade in the chat room. Paris, of course, is trading Tesla.
Get D-Dog's pullback. Frank the Tank, good morning to you, my friend. Joining chat. Good morning,
Love
guys, over
it.
on YouTube.
Frank the Tank.
I like D-Dog for a short match. But it's based on such a gut type feel.
Yeah.
Yes, it could be a 5 minute ORB breakdown if it bounces off the VWAP. It could be so many things, but it's just got this sell-off type look on it. So let's see if we could match it up with a strategy. Right, let's see if we could take this gut feel and match it up with a good 5 minute ORB breakdown. This will be a pullback here
I mean,
for that.
under normal conditions, it does look like it could go and fill the gap to the downside, right? And be a sell-off. I guess
Yeah.
I can't help looking at fundamental type data, meaning I know it's going to be added to the S&P 500 tomorrow, which would
Mm-hmm.
tell me that there's some incentive for those that might recently have, added it to their portfolio to,
Right.
because especially if you got an S&P tracking stock to not let it drop too much. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know how
That's a
far
good
it can
point.
go.
Yeah. That's a good point. And then also you gotta look at, okay, it gapped up huge just not so long ago. How much is
Right.
that is built in? It's so many things to look at. I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
There's so many things here, but usually that catalyst, the S&P 500 add, is usually positive. Usually, not always.
Yeah.
Um, the fact that I'm looking at D-Dog as my potential one is pretty bad. Is there nothing else out here? Yeah, so that's pretty bad pickings. Um, PLTR selling down. PLTR was a good rejection off the VWAP here. PLTR was a better setup. And then DRA now is halted to the downside now, so you can see there. So
it is. Oh, it
Tesla.
is. So it just halted a minute ago. It's got
Yeah.
some time before it reopens.
All right. I'm gonna
A
try it. I'm gonna
wolf.
go short D-Dog. Wow, not a bad feel actually. So I'm gonna go short D-Dog. Let's see. I want to see if we can break the low here and head towards that 142. There might be some weakness, but like you said, Peter, it might not last long, right? You might just, or it might even head down there depending on how strong the stock is here. So let's see if we can get a drop. Stop loss for me. We don't want to go in above this area here. This is not good. We want to selling above that. That's what the buyers came in. I'm sorry, the sellers. So I hope they come in again. But the fact that we didn't make a new low when I got in here is not good. That's not ideal. You want to get a cushion right away if you can. Yeah, it does, man. It looks messy. I agree. It's not the best trading setup. And as you can see here, it's not working. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get out. It is messy, and the volume is really low too. It's funny, now that I'm in it, you can see how low the volume is. I didn't realize that before. It is very low, only 80,000 or so. So might be actually a long now. I'm out of it, by the way, guys. So I'm out of D-Dog. But where was this action just a minute ago before I got in? Like it just became alive. The minute I touched it, it just became alive out of nowhere. And look at the volume coming into this minute here. Is it punching through VWAP? Everything's PLTR pulling back as well. I don't see anything great here, guys. I really don't. Hood came back. DDOG. DDOG VWAP breakout. I don't trust it. It's too messy.
Yeah.
It's too messy.
NVIDIA would have been good for a VWAP rejection. I said it looked short, but the how it was so poppy made it tough, but could have got I guess it hasn't moved that much. It's only about a 60, 70 cent move, really.
Yeah, yeah. But that 5 minute chart looks awesome, Peter. That looks, I mean, look at this.
Yeah, that's true.
That's really,
Does
really
look
nice.
better on the 5 minute.
All right, let's see. DDOG is going north. Oh, so we got our VWAP breakout. Do we get a pullback? Doesn't look like it wants to pull back.
It doesn't, does it?
DDOG is pulling back. Is it gonna make our VWAP move? If it is, oh no, it's just so bad. That is. See the way it's pulling back like that? It's just not clean, man.
Yeah, and the spread is pretty high, right? We're talking about a 20 to 30 cent spread, so I don't love the look of it. Oh, and this NDRA should have reopened.
The watermark
still halted.
I got 43. The watermark here.
Looks like they're holding NDRA for 10 minutes because it didn't reopen on the 5 minute.
That's interesting. Well, it is up 191%, so I figure let's slow it down even further. DDOG is making our move, Peter. I'm gonna go long. I'm going long. I might regret this, but I'm gonna go long. DDOG. I am long DDOG. Let's go. Let's. I'm gonna regret this, but that is our move. That's our move. Breakout, pullback. It's the move. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can go get our move here on DDOG, or it could just be in chop and we could be back down to 145. And yeah, it's just don't know. But let's see if we can get some wings under this thing and get going. $10 drop is coming. Let me know, man. If you know something I don't know, $10 drop is good. I want to get out.
Yeah,
I want to get out. If $10 drop is coming. Don't jinx it. Don't put it out there, man. Man, PLTR was messy. Are we gonna have a bad day today? Is this a choppy setup again? What I mean,
know. It's feeling like it.
It's feeling like it, man. What are you guys trading that's not choppy right now? Because everything I have here, well, SOFI was good. INQ is back in chop. Circle is brutal. This is really bad today. NDRA is stuck, and Hood is still trying some things. Yeah, NVIDIA sure was actually clean. Very, very
SOFI. SOFI had a good run.
SOFI was clean too. Yeah. But NVIDIA, you called it too, Peter. It was just very, very clean in NVIDIA. So
yeah,
that was probably one of the cleanest ones.
And yet here I am just looking at it. Didn't trade it at all. Foolish boy.
I knew I was gonna say that. Oh man, what a start. And DDOG's just lost all this volume here. So it's not doing anything, so that's not good. That's not good. Let's go, DDOG. Give us our money back. Disrespectful. Take it. You should never think like that. I say it joking around, guys. I don't really mean it's gonna give me our money back, because that's not what you think. It's just a joke. Once you lose money, it's gone forever. Don't worry about it. focus on the next trade. That's all you could do. It's taking too long. It's taking way too long.
It is taking a while.
Yeah. And it's taking too long because it's still at my entry. If it was at 147, it could take as long as it wants. But here at my entry, it's taking too long. It's all perspective. I feel like when it's not in your favor, it's taking too long.
Exactly.
And when it is, but right now it's not in my favor. It's taking way too long for this. we're only like 3 minutes into our entry. But you guys understand, right? When you feel the breakout coming, you want to get in and you want to see that breakout happen right away. And some traders will be out by now, right? I'm going to stick to my stop, which is about 75 cents at the VWAP. But some traders, they don't get that breakout in like the next 1 or 2 minutes, they're out of the trade, you know, and that's their trading style. It protects them from taking big losses. They'll have a lot of small losers, and their big winners are going to do great, but it prevents those big losses, right? Because they're probably trading heavier size, more of a scalping type play. Coffee from donuts. Yeah, I did. I got a big one of donut, and I didn't even eat the donut yet. So yeah, I got it because it's there, and I'm not gonna eat that.
I'm hungry. Yeah, I want some breakfast. What type of donut have you got?
They get like a glaze stick. The glaze sticks are really good. My son loves them. I get them more for my son. Yeah, but he's not here. He's in summer camp.
Oh, I see. So you didn't really get it for your son. That's just the excuse. But it's okay. It's between us friends. We won't tell your wife.
Correct, exactly. But I haven't ate it yet, so I'm still haven't violated the rules of not eating too much sweets, because that stuff will kill you. Salt and sugar. Stay away from that stuff, and you'll be all right. All right,
Video coming back up to VWAP here.
Trading like garbage. Like all this volume came in here.
Everything's.
And then it's just, what is this garbage I'm stuck in? I mean, it's just volume died down, barely doing anything. Like this was the best part of DDOG today was this little part right here. That's it. Yeah. And it's because it has some volume. What are we waiting for? Like, what are you guys waiting for to do something? Apple's at the VWAP, looking to do some stuff here. PLTR, it's just, again, a little bit of a drop in sideways. Tesla's actually breaking the VWAP here. After a retest, which is nice. So it came here, failed, trying it again. This actually could be good, guys. This could be good on Tesla. So let's see how the pullback looks here. DDOG is, I'm looking at the other charts, is trying to get going. We'll take a partial quick on this if it's going to take too long. See if we can get to 147.50 on DDOG will be nice. 146.70 right now. It's just struggling. NDRA opened back up. DDOG. Yeah, banner. I see it. Yep, it's going. It's trying. I mean, this is the high of the day as well. That 146.80. Well, we made a new high now, so we're trying to break the high of the day here as well, which again just opened up, so shouldn't be a big deal. And then we have some daily stuff on here as well. We have daily. Well, we have the low from the big day when we gapped up, right? That's this 146.92 line I have here. So let's see. Let's see if D-Dog can deliver.
Here you go, D-Dog. Let's go for Carlos.
Yeah. I don't want to be greedy. I want to hold for 147.50, but I don't want to be greedy. Ah, this is usually the battle. Am I being greedy by not taking a partial here? I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am being greedy because the stock is it's garbage and it can come back on me. So partial here, 147. If we get more, great, but let's not be greedy.
There you go.
Okay.
It's a smart move.
Yeah, let's not push the limits here because this thing is it's going up, but it's doing it so ugly. Like it is an ugly uptrend. And oh, I think it hurt me.
You think it heard you?
Yeah, it's like
Well,
I'll show
let's
you
see.
ugly.
That's
It's
okay.
starting to go the other
Well,
way.
that's
Come on, D Dog, you're so ugly. Ugly, ugly, ugly. That's gonna work. Let's keep pushing the
You
button.
are a mangy mutt, D-Dog.
Yeah.
You're
Meanie.
a flea-ridden,
Yeah.
yellow-bellied.
I
Just
tell
dare
you.
it.
Yeah. I'll show you. Long, ugly dog. Yeah. You dirty dog. That's probably what it stands for. D dog. Oh. As a two partial so far on this one. Um, I really thought we were going to drop lower and cover that gap, but we didn't really have. See the difference between having a gut feeling and an actual strategy? Sometimes your gut feelings could work, but the strategy is going to be so much better. So much better. Important, stick to the strategy. Dead dog.
Well, Paris is still pounding away here on Tesla, trying to get it to move higher. So
How is he making money on Tesla? I mean, it's this thing looks.
yeah,
Oh, actually, no, I take it back. Tesla. I'm confusing it with something else. This is one that actually came to the VWAP and it's breaking out. But
yep.
how is he doing it? Because
It's slow. It's
yeah,
slow. Yeah, but
yeah,
he's.
it
I mean,
looks.
you gotta look at his trade here. He struggled with it at first, but
Mm-hmm.
now he's buying every pull down. He's buying it and for the
Yeah,
push higher. So gotta give him credit. Paris knows what he's looking for. So
yeah, yeah. Okay, we need to hold the line. Let's hold the 9 moving average. Let's go back up above 147. If we don't, I'm not gonna chance it. 146.59. I don't want to settle down below that. And that means if it starts going down and the candles looks like it's about to close below that, I want to be out of the trade. I really want to hold the 9 here, just like that. Okay, very good. Can we get 125? Oh, this is nice, friends. Okay. D Dog, you know what? I take everything bad I said about you. You are the nicest dog ever.
well, I
You
don't
are.
know. Maybe it likes the dirty talk. Maybe you should keep
It
it up.
likes the dirty, likes the dirty talk. Uh, Doggity dog. Maybe he's like a Snoop Dogg, right? Because Snoop Dogg is definitely a dirty dog. But
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
absolutely.
his
Yeah,
Snoop
you
Dogg
call
is
you call Snoop a dirty dog. He's loving it. So.
oh, he's loving that. Yeah, yeah. I was watching a documentary on him, and not a documentary. It was like it's just one of those, I guess, interviews or something. And man, it's crazy how the rights with him and Death Row, how everything works out with the music and who's responsible. You know, it's your own music. These people own it. It's like the music industry could be so screwed up. Like especially if you're a young
Oh yeah,
artist, which all these guys were young. Like they're literally like what 17, 18 in some cases. Like
yeah, a
they
lot of
weren't
them.
even
Yeah.
adults when they first started like making hits. And just the way everything works with if you don't got a good lawyer and don't know what you're doing, man, they'll get you. They'll get you for every little thing that's out there.
Well, I think
Um,
the music industry has purposely picked people, young because it's easier
yeah,
to take advantage of.
Oh, absolutely. Can't do your own label because nobody knows you. They're the ones that run all the airtime. I mean, it's wild. It's wild. But then he eventually bought Death Row. So now he owns Death Row, which I did not know, right?
Yeah,
Now he got all
yeah,
they call it masters to the music. I guess I don't know. He
yeah.
owns the masters to all his tracks and that big album, Doggy Dog, whatever it was. So good for him, man. Good for him. All right, friends. Yeah, a lot of these guys are, man. Mike, 100%. I agree. So I took 3 partials here on DDOG. Hopefully it goes higher. I want to see 147.50 and see if we can get going here. Oh yes, I seen he owns that. I thought it was just using him for promotion. I seen his 19 Crimes wine. Actually not bad.
Yeah,
Not bad actually.
yeah, yeah. I've bought it before. It's okay.
Yeah. My
It's
dad loves it.
okay.
He's
Although,
not even a Snoop Dogg fan, and he loves that wine.
although
uh,
they say if you want to know how to make $1 million, just invest 10 million in a winery. So it's
ouch.
tough making
Yeah,
money
yeah,
making
right.
wine.
Yeah, speeder screen is up. I could bring it up. Here, Peter,
I'm not. I
having
mean, I'm not doing anything because
yeah,
I'm just watching here.
I'm having
Nothing yet.
such. I'm gonna take another defensive partial, friends, here in case we're going to drop below. Just want to get. Oh, that's a horrible fill. You're sitting at 147. You'll fill me at the bottom of the wick. I guess because of the spread. Yeah, the spread is 20 plus cents. That's why. Okay,
Yeah.
I understand. Um, yeah, man, this VMix. Oh my goodness, it is so. So today I don't know if you noticed, like some of your your videos was not showing because
Mm.
I did something. Where I'm deleting all the stuff that we don't use as far as slides, and I did something where I deleted. I guess one slide that was a template for all the master slides. Oh my
Right.
goodness. I've been at this all morning today trying to fix it, and still today when we were live, there was still some that were still messed up.
Oh wow.
Uh, it's brutal, brutal. But we'll get there. We're gonna clean this up nicely. Uh, D-Dog. Mike, I bought it the same thing. I saw him on the label. I'm like, oh, what's this? He has a.
Yeah.
I bought it. It was actually good. The wine. It was actually good. 19
Yeah.
crimes. Peter, how's Canada doing with the U.S. alcohol? Are you still banning stuff? Not you, but I'm saying, are people still upset with U.S. alcohol in the
Well, they're
stores?
not upset with the alcohol per se, but
No, but
it
the
is.
tariff. Yeah, like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, at least in the Ontario liquor stores, they still have not reintroduced any American, offerings,
yeah,
wine
yeah.
or hard liquor. Um, the grocery stores, I know that a lot of people like Carlos. We have, just to give you an idea, like I was looking for great cherries the other day. It's cherry
Mm-hmm.
season, right? So buying some cherries. They had cherries on sale for like 89 cents a pound. Actually, it was 89
Wow.
cents a kilogram, which is like 40 cents a pound or something. And I'm like, oh man, awesome. Looked product of the USA. I'm like, damn it. Because there's a general people aren't buying that. So, but then they had the Canadian one. It was like 2.99. So it was like 3 times the cost.
I'll
I'll,
be like,
I'll
I love
admit.
you, Canada, but I like cherries. I'm taking the
Well,
damn cherries. But I
no,
get it, I get it. If you
I,
guys got a
I,
thing,
I,
yeah, yeah,
I bought the 2.99 ones, I'll admit. So
yeah, yeah,
it's just one of those. There's a lot of there's just a lot of pushback. You're going to threaten our economy, okay? It's like it's sort of like your
yeah,
vote.
yeah,
You've only got one vote, so make it count. So all right,
yeah, yeah,
a lot of people are doing that now. Obviously they're still selling them. So, but they're because they're in the stores. But
yeah,
and there's
yeah.
the same way with a lot of products, but they're definitely discounted, which means that they're not selling as well as they
Yeah, well,
were.
somebody
So
needs them at that price, right? So somebody's
yeah,
gonna come in and say, "I love Canada, but if I could save 100%.
Yeah, I get
You
it, right? I
know,
mean, I'm
yeah,
I'm in a position where I can afford to do that, right? I
right,
get
right.
it.
That's
If
what I'm
you're on a
saying. Yeah,
budget,
yeah,
then you do what you got to do.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't begrudge anybody that. So,
yeah, yeah.
but
I
anyways,
remember when I
yeah,
first came to this country, man. Our budget was real. It's a real budget. Like, yeah, we had a budget. It was intense.
look, I tell, look, my first wedding anniversary 35 years ago. Oh my God, 37 years ago, when my wife and I went out, we had our son babysat by my mother-in-law, and we got all the change we could find in the ashtray of the car. Remember back then when cars had ashtrays? Anyways,
Yeah, yeah.
and we managed to scrape together enough money where we could either go to Wendy's to get ourselves like a salad or go to a movie. Like we couldn't do
Mm-hmm,
both.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
yeah.
fast
Pick one.
food or a movie. We had to pick one. And
Movies hopefully last a lot longer, at
we
least.
we did
You'll be
actually end
hungry,
up
but
going to the movie.
yeah, it makes sense.
And actually, you know what? Our first anniversary movie date, uh, we went to see Apollo 13. So
Hmm. Nice.
I
That was
think
one of my
actually that
first.
couldn't
I think that came free with the first DVD player that I bought. Came with
oh, yeah.
Apollo 13. Yeah, the first
Couldn't have been
DVD
couldn't
player.
have been our first anniversary. I must be confusing that with another anniversary because it looks like it says it only came out in 1995. My first anniversary would have been 94. So, sorry,
Sounds about
93.
right.
So yeah, I'm off by a couple of years there. Anyways, I got married in 1992.
I just took another partial, by the way, guys, on D-Dog. We're struggling. It's 147.25. It's a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not breaking through. But when it does, it could be really nice. I'm still leaving some on here because if it breaks through that, we could see 147.75 pretty easily.
Yep.
So let's see. Let's see if it's gonna
It's
do
just
it.
gotta make that break.
Yeah. Volume keeps dying though, so it's coming harder and harder. Um, let's see. Come on, D-Dog. You could do it. All right, friends. How are you guys doing? I mean, we're pretty quiet, so we're just talking away here. Nvidia. Wow, Nvidia's doing some stuff. Struggle at the V up the
Yeah.
entire time, and now finally, beautiful breakout here. So that's nice. Um, that is nice. There. Let's see if we can get going. Apple. Okay, looks like things are starting to settle in somewhat of a direction, except for Tesla came back down here. INQ. Let's look at my secondary circle of internet. Found a way to break out. $8 move from the VWAP. 201, 200 to about 209. It's
Telling you,
insane.
CRCL, you don't think it's going to
It's
be a
yeah,
player, and then it
just
even when
takes
the
off.
moves look little, it's still got some
Yeah,
range.
yes it does. Uh, uh, what else? What else?
Hmm. Tesla couldn't break through. Nvidia still struggling at VWAP.
Let's see. Miss entry on circle. Yeah, it's definitely gone now. I mean, if it's gonna trend, this can still be some opportunities, but I will not be chasing it. As I sit and wait for D-Dog to break, 147.39 is the high right now, but clearly 125, like right here. Let me mark it actually. Here is the issue, 147.25. Actually, let's go to the daily. What was that? Is that anything? Does that mean something to D-Dog? Um, Not really. It's just no. It's a bunch of levels there. It's not really anything significant. I would think anything of. So yeah. And we are rejecting. I took enough parses. I could wait a little bit. I don't gotta rush to get out of it. Um, Jim, Jim is. Are you calling AMD ugly so it can go up, or are you calling it ugly because it is ugly?
Yeah,
'Cause
no.
now we started a trend here. We call the stock ugly. It's
Yeah.
gonna try to prove you wrong because that's what the market does. It try to prove us wrong. So we're just gonna start cursing at it and calling it ugly and doing all these kinds of things to get upset and reverse psychology to what we needed to do.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Amazon's had a good
Wow.
sell-off today.
Do
Wow.
you guys
Yeah,
see this? We just went right up, right up, right up. Like any other stock would have just blown right through that and then boom, slam back down. It's just such a hard time. But you had to see the action was so nice going up on DDOG, and then 147 and boom, we slam back down. And I don't like this action actually. This looks weak to me. Yeah, I'm gonna probably take another partial here. I am going to. Yeah, this looks weak to me. Oh, D-Dog, hold on. There, D-Dog.
Yeah, DDOG still just hanging out in this range, Carlos. It's really stuck,
Yeah,
isn't it, in this
it's. I really thought it was gonna
this
go here, but it's. Yeah. If anything, I think it's gonna be a short, man. If we don't get our act together.
it does look that way, right? If it can't break through here, it's really looking like it's
Spread is 15. You know what? It could be acting like this because the spread is so not bad, but it's 15 cents, 20 cents at a time. Um. In very light order, so it's just a weird price action. But we're in the green. We cover our losses, and we're in the green. We'd love to get a little bit more if we can. Um, but it's just struggling. Trade Canada, you're done for the day. Sweet man, go over to your local shop and buy some U.S. cherries. Don't let them rot, man. Help somebody out there. You know that there is there's a Canadian driver that's probably out of a job because you guys are not buying U.S. stuff because not enough stuff to ship to you
well,
guys. You know?
all we can say is influence your politicians to stop threatening us with tariffs, and I'll
Yeah,
happily buy American products all day long.
yeah. We're gonna continue this on WWW episode number 1. It should be a
Yeah.
fire one. Should be good. But yeah. I actually got that from I don't know that for a fact, but there was a someone that was complaining. It was a local beer driver, and it was
Mm.
not because of tariffs. It was because of oh yeah, see, I knew it. I'm gonna get out of D-Dog. Why are you doing that? Hold on a second. Let me get out of D-Dog. Oh, am I hitting the right button?
Uh-oh.
Okay, good. Wow, the
What's
fills
going
on this
on?
thing are so bad. You know, sometimes when you have the charts and then by mistake this is like sitting on a different thing.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
this will happen. You get the error saying, "Hey, this is not an actual ticker." So that kept
yeah.
happening to me. And I gotta have to go back and just kind of reset. So not bad. Great trade. I should have got out earlier. I after this candle, I knew it. I'm like, this is not good, right? Look at that.
But you know
It's
what?
sold off.
It had been chopping and ranging in that zone for too long. You can't be too hard on
Yeah,
yourself because you never know. It could have popped just as easily, right?
that's true. That's true. Yep. Good point. Good point.
Oh,
Um, so it was for the what's the beer that look it's gonna go up now? D Dog,
yeah. See?
dirty dog, you
You know?
dirty dog.
Anyways,
Um,
exactly.
there was the U.S. beer that got tied into I guess some non-manly stuff, right? So it was flagged as
Oh, the
yeah,
Budweiser.
yes, it got tagged into this
Yeah.
thing, and it was one of the big selling beers up in Canada. So people stopped buying it because of that, right? And the local driver that delivered tons of this beer on a regular basis, basically lost his business because of it. Because that was his job to deliver these beers. And it's like, you
Yeah.
affect people when you do stuff like that. So, but it was not even tariffs. I can imagine tariffs also has an effect on it as well.
No. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's like, oh, that sucks. This guy had nothing to do with this, and
Yeah.
he's, he's losing his job over it. It's not cool.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part of it, right? That
Yeah,
it's usually
somebody gets hurt. The little guy gets hurt.
it's
You know.
the little
Yeah.
guy always gets hurt first, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to make a big statement without hurting little people along the way. So
Yeah. Yep. Nvidia taking off here. Yeah, I see Nvidia taking off
Tes
here, guys.
Paris is booming, so I assume he's long Tesla again.
Long Tesla or Nvidia or Nvidia.
I
One of
gotta
the two.
assume he's. I mean, well, Tesla's his usual thing. So,
Yeah.
but
I see him. I don't see his screen up. I see him watching this PLTR.
yeah, yeah, he doesn't seem to have. Yeah, so let's see here. He's just about to change it, Carlos. There you go. Yeah, absolutely. He's back into Tesla. He
Oh,
can't
Tesla.
help
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. There it is.
I mean, he can't help it, but it works for him. So, can't say he's
Mm-hmm.
wrong. Not
Yep.
every trade works, but enough that he's always making money.
Yes. Do not upset your consumer. Rhino says 100%. Don't upset your consumer. You don't want to do that. There's a couple of people that do that, and I'm amazed how good their product is. The product still sells. And well,
Mm.
I won't can't say the name because they're actually not a competitor of ours, but we use them quite a bit. I used them for years. I don't use them anymore. But their CEO on X put stuff out there that I'm just like, whoa, dude. You're the CEO of this company, but it's such a good product that people still subscribe to it. It's a great product, and I admit it. I used it for a couple of years. I don't use it anymore. It's an
Right.
amazing product. But if you follow him on X, which I'm assuming a lot of consumers don't, you'd be like, what the heck is going on with this guy? He's very very extreme with the posts, very extreme.
Right.
And the Elon Musk status type thing, right? He doesn't just care. He's just posting, So um, it's madness.
It's madness, insanity, I tell you.
Mm-hmm. All right, D-Dog rolling over a little bit. Tesla VWAP guys, VWAP breakout. Not clean, not really clean. Nvidia's breaking out. I mean, Nvidia wasn't clean though. Like I don't see a VWAP breakout set up on this one. But yeah, Nvidia. If you took it off the VWAP, this is an amazing breakout. I don't see uh, a play. I mean, definitely not now, but I didn't see a play here to begin with. That would have been tough. How was that? Yeah, maybe some customers do like that. There is that restaurant where you go in and they curse you and they like are rude to you the entire time since you get in. Have you been to
Really?
that? Yeah, there's a restaurant
No?
here. I haven't been to it. My brother went to it and they didn't know. So
Oh
when
yeah?
they did, it's not like this is a place that you probably look up and say, oh yeah, let's go, and you expect what you expect. But when they showed up, is that James? That's
It's
what it's called. Dick's. It's called Dick's, I think. Right?
really.
Dick's
So they just
restaurant bar.
act
Yeah.
like
So
they
they
act like
act
dicks
like
too?
pure dicks the entire time. Like from the minute you get in, come, just follow me. Like they'll just be
So
rude the whole entire time.
you go there for abuse.
Yeah,
Really?
I like that stuff. So at
Interesting.
first, my brother was like, "What the is going on?" And then he before he acted out, he caught it. Oh, I see what's happening here, because it was pretty obvious, given how rude they were being. Everybody was being so rude. She came over. She threw the menu. I think this was caught him. She came over and threw the menus on the table, and my brother just looked at her like, "What the heck?" And he caught it before it was a mess. uh,
That's
yeah,
that is
yeah.
funny actually. There was I mean back in the day in Ottawa, if anybody's here old school, there was a restaurant called IP Looney's where they would
Mm-hmm.
go and they would, this is back when you'd wear a tie to dinner and they'd cut off your tie. So
Oh, ooh! You imagine if you didn't know you had your favorite tide on? Ah,
Yeah. So they
I'm
had like a
pissed.
whole wall. I mean, they give you the warning right up front. They've got a whole wall
Okay,
of
yeah,
like
yeah,
all of their trophy ties. So, but yeah,
yeah. Don't
it's
wear.
one of those if you don't know, yeah, you could have your nice silk tie on and then chop.
Your DJT gold tie. It's like
Yeah.
$85 on Macy's 34th Street. Oh man, it's insane, insane. All right, I don't have anything, guys. I mean, I had one bad trade, one excellent trade on the same stock. Oh, look, it did recover. Looks like it wants to go now, so it did recover. But oh, D-Dog, very nice, very nice. You're actually breaking through here.
I think
That's
seems like
awesome.
we're annoying Abdul by talking about things that aren't trading. Sorry, Abdul. But you know, it's boring. The markets are boring today. Everything's moving sideways. It's not a lot of price action. So
Yeah.
it's good to distract yourself. I haven't got a trade yet, but you know what? I suspected that at the open that I might not. I was watching D-Dog for a drop, but it didn't give me the pullback.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting how it went down and then back up, and you know, like
Yeah.
we're here. Carlos,
Yeah.
look, now it's going to annoy you. It is a dirty dog.
Oh, it's a dirty dog. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
this is brutal. And I had a decent amount of shares. Like this would have been a really good move here for me.
yeah.
Um, eh, I'm glad it at least gave us some of the money back, made us green, and gave us a little bit extra. So that's good. Oh man, but yeah, look at that, 147. And I thought it was really gonna sell off. I was so wrong on that. I really thought it was a sell off here,
Mm.
more into that gap. I guess not. Jimmy, worked for you. You cursed out AMD, and it. Yeah, look at that. Gave you your move. So you see everybody at their desk now throwing curses at the screen, and
Yeah. Well, you know,
it's.
sometimes these stocks need a little tough love. I guess it's
Their partner's gonna be coming over to them like, "What is that you do for a living again?"
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, exactly. What's going
okay.
on here?
What is that you do
Calm
again?
down
I
there.
need to
Calm
understand
down.
what is happening. Nvidia falling apart here rapidly.
Hmm.
Yep, yep, exactly. There you go. That's a strategy. I'm gonna create a webinar. Curse the stock for the breakout with Carlos. Oh man.
You know, I think anybody that's traded for a while, we've done the cursing many a time. It's usually when you're
Oh
already in
yeah.
a losing position. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
work then. That's all
No,
I can tell you.
no, doesn't work.
It's 100% does not work.
Moji TV, do I have all my support and resistance lines in red? Yeah, for the most part. Let's take a look at one that we did today, PLTR. We did support lines on that, right? So, yeah, they're all in red. I mean, but they're easy to tell. So, for example, the ones that have the yellow here, if you could see that, this means I put them manually. The ones that don't, like these two down here, are usually the highs and lows for the last two trading days, right? And I don't know if you could have the price show up. Maybe you can. I mean, so much stuff you could do with that, but maybe you could have the price show up there for what these two lines are. But these two are the highs and lows of the last two trading days. They don't have the price tag highlighted in yellow. The previous day
Right.
closes in black, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So Tesla doing our move. Let's take a look. Uh, it did our move actually. It did our move. It's gone, man. Here it did it here a little bit. I saw this one. I didn't trust it, but you got another breakout here. Here's the pullback, and here's the confirmation candle. So it could have been in here. I don't like it as much. It was a little bit far from the VWAP, and we're just coming off some chops. So I don't know. I don't. I think even if I would have been watching this one, I think I wouldn't take it, to be honest. If this would have happened a little bit higher, maybe this I would have taken. But yeah, it's working though. Whether we're taking it or not, whether I would have taken it or not, it is working. So
Hmm.
there you go.
You
298.
know, I always know Tesla's going well. You just have to hear Paris in the chat room going boom, boom.
Yeah, look
So
at his trading on it. Oh man, he traded the heck out of this thing. But that's how he
he
trades.
did.
He trades a lot. You know, like someone will look at this like, oh, this guy's over trading. He doesn't know what he's doing. But he does this every day. It's not like a
Yeah,
1 day thing. This is his style.
yeah.
Is what works for him. Matter of
Are
fact,
you showing
I'll
that?
show you.
I don't see
I'll
you
show
showing.
you. I'll show you. Here it is. Right.
Oh
This is what he
man.
does.
Oh
You know, like
yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot happening here, friends. See this entry, but this is his style. It's not just him going crazy. But he's getting a great move right now. Look at that, guys. That is an awesome move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Harris is he's making it his. Well, he's making it his.
okay.
We don't need to be rude.
Yeah.
You
Be right. 1 second. I'll
guys
be
know
right
what I
back.
mean. All right. All right. Carlos is off taking care of something here. Oh my goodness. I'm still waiting for a trade. Sometimes I think that, I really should try and evolve into maybe this a higher frequency trader because I see these moves every single day. The problem is, or the opportunity is, the problem is what I do works. It's just it's not as frequent. I'll have to do that with you guys. Just try it for like a week. Just try and take all these momentum moves that I see how it plays out. How's it a problem? It's I suppose it's not in the big picture. It's just I sit here and I watch these things move and I do not take advantage of it. Maybe it could provide me an opportunity instead of trading all day like I do to get my money. I could, become more of an Andrew or Paris style trader where they just trade for, 30 minutes to an hour and a half. They're not usually trading for more than 90 minutes on any given day. I'm doing 6.5 hours worth of it. So it's an opportunity, right? Not that I mind it, but still, if you can get more efficient, that is always a good thing. Oh. All right. Look at Tesla still hanging out here just below well, it broke through 299 but couldn't hold it. So we'll see what it does here. At 300 level, it's usually a big tough one. See what it can do. SPY and the Qs are still dropping though. So it's interesting that Tesla's holding out as well as it is because I'm listening to Paris cheer on Tesla here. So see if it can break through 299.50. Good move. I'm still, well, look, it's 10:27 roughly, almost. And I'm looking at most of the stuff that I've got on my radar here, and it's very rangy, eh? It's just hanging out in the middle range here. Is this, can you do it this time, Tesla? Maybe not.
All right. Anything, Peter? You haven't traded anything today, have you?
No,
Been
nothing
quiet,
yet
right?
for me. I was just talking about maybe I need to get more, you know, trade all these like little momentum moves that I see. I should try like for 1 week. I should just try doing that.
Mm.
See what happens over the course of that week.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, you pick the wrong week, then.
Yeah, that's
But
the thing. Like,
anyways,
maybe not this week, because
no.
it's been a tough week. Like, it has not been easy to find this opportunity. So, I don't blame you, man. It's not something you usually trade, and there's nothing that looks incredibly great to take a stab at. So,
Yep.
DDOG went up, came back down even lower than when I stopped out, and back again. I mean, it's not an easy stock to hold the way it's been trading. So that's not good.
All right. Well, what do we got here?
D ball. What are the host names? So I'm Carlos, and below there is Peter.
Hey, that's us.
Yes, yes. I think we have a
That's
thing here.
us.
Um,
I'm just staring at these charts, hoping that something's gonna give me an indication of of a move that I like, but we really
yeah,
don't. I mean, the strongest movers have been Amazon and Google, or at least the most directional movers, and they're they hit sort of their levels here and are just now hanging out. Like it's
yeah,
not a good trade setup for what I do. It could be a very boring day.
yeah. It's not ideal. And yes, it was boring and red for me. But there was actually better opportunities yesterday. What do you guys think? I think there were better opportunities yesterday compared to today. Um,
Mm,
it just feels that way. Even though I had a red day, it feels like yesterday I looked at a lot of trades. I would have been like, oh, I would have been in this trade, or yeah, I missed this one. Like there was many of that yesterday.
right.
So big beard traders, beer bros trading BBT. Yeah, there's so many things you can do with BBT. Yeah, so many, man. It's kind of out of control a
Yeah.
little bit, but yeah, it's so many. And if you write one that doesn't show up, it probably got blocked. Got blocked by our YouTube filter. Um, wow, Tesla, AMD is going. What's going on?
Here goes Tesla. 300 now.
Wow.
Paris is so excited.
Oh, he
Tesla to
should be.
300.
That's a big day for him. That could be and he trades big size. That could be a 3,000, $5,000 a day. He trades big size. Um,
Yeah.
so, so yeah. Yeah,
It does.
boom. That's his thing. Boom.
That's a boom. Yeah.
It's a lot of booms being thrown out today. If you're trading Tesla,
A
a lot
lot
of
of booms.
booms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Paris got the 300. He got the new high. Look at that.
There it is. All right, do we have anybody coming? I got my parents here. I told them come after 3:30. I mean after 10:30. Come after 10:30. We can hang. Um, but I know that Andrew's not here. Is Brian coming over? How's Brian feeling?
I
Hasn't
don't
not
know.
feeling well.
He wasn't feeling well. He
Yeah.
just signed off of the chat room. I don't know that he's heading over here. I think he might be going back to bed. Gonna take a nap.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I might have to leave you, Peter, for this next half hour. I'll try to come back, but I got my mom and pops here, so I'm gonna receive them
Are
for a
we
second.
we have
Um,
Thor joining as usual at 11?
I 11. Yeah, I'll have to put Thor 11. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll try not to be too boring, but it's pretty quiet here
Yeah,
today.
I hate leaving on a day like this where it's so boring. Like if it was crazy, you could talk about
Yeah, I
everything.
mean,
Maybe give a couple of
lots to
rants.
talk about. Yeah, we could
A
just go do
couple of
that.
rants.
All
Yeah.
right. I
Let me do
got
this.
it.
Let me bring your screen, so you're able
Okay.
to share things.
Yeah,
Um,
let's put a screen up that you guys can see. Here, I'll do this because this one,
and this is one of
oh,
those
I
screens
can
that got
see.
screwy. So let's see if I could bring you. Yeah, thanks, Melanie. Yeah, they're leaving tomorrow, to St. Louis early, so they want to come by and just spend time before they head out. They're going for a couple of days.
St.
Um,
Louis. What's in St.
yeah,
Louis?
they have a conference
Okay.
with the my dad's church. Well, not just his church, a
Okay.
whole bunch of churches getting together. I think they have the American. What's it called?
I
They
have
have
no
the
idea.
American. I'll get the name of it. But I
American
booked their
Churchgoers
tickets.
Association.
No, it's like a big venue that's like
Okay.
one of the biggest in America or something like that. All right, let's see here.
Mm.
Where's Peter? Trying to get Peter's camera.
Where am I?
There we
I'm
go.
right here.
There, I got you.
What's happened to me? There I am.
Uh, and then let's get you. Yeah, see, this is part of the stuff I was talking to you about earlier. It's just
Mm.
got everything is so screwy, man. That's just we'll have to figure this out.
I like, I actually like the fact that Tesla's moving like this, guys, because at least Tesla going up, it gives me a chance for a reversal play. Maybe, we'll watch it. We'll see. It's a lot better than something like Nvidia. That if Nvidia is just chopping in a range here, it doesn't really give much opportunity. So,
Peter, do you want me to zoom into something here? Is this one okay?
oh, oh, sure, I can. Yeah, I was just trying to
Or you
show the
just want to
market
make it?
indices.
Okay, we'll make it just you. Yeah, all right. I'll make it big and then. Oh, actually, I see what you did. Yep, I got it. That's better, actually.
There you go. You can see the
That's good.
markets, what they're
Yeah.
doing, and we watch one stock. So
Okay.
that was the
Awesome.
idea. So, anyways, we'll see what Tesla's gonna do here. Uh, so we got Datadog ended up not really going very far, did it? It's made that move up. Carlos did manage to jump in on that and take advantage of it. And then, yeah, it's just what's also chopping range. Oh, the other thing that's up here, look at AMD. Let's put AMD up on the screen for you guys. AMD's got to move higher. That's good. That's good. Corporate, who's corporate kingpin? I don't know about a kingpin, but Ben Colts, talk about my investing journey. Well, are you asking about investing, Ben, or trading? Because I consider those very different activities. My investing is very boring. Trading is a much different animal. So, trading, okay. Um, all right. Well, I mean, I retired from this is a story that a lot of people are going to have heard, so I'll do it fairly quickly. But I retired. My wife wants me to never say I'm retired because I just changed careers really. But I decided I didn't want to do corporate life anymore back in 2017. I just had enough of it. I'd done a lot of stuff. I was a corporate executive for a Fortune 500 company. I ran my own IT services businesses. I was a partner for one of the largest accounting firms in the world, but I was in their IT services. I ran their IT services division regionally. And all of that basically, I just sort of decided that's not where I wanted to focus my time. So I decided I was just going to retire, give back to the community, and invest. And what I quickly realized is that investing is a very passive type activity and it doesn't take a lot of energy. And all of the charitable work that I wanted to do happens in the evenings. So I had all these days free. And way back in 1999, I used to day trade. Believe it or not, very, very different animal. I worked for Nortel Networks at the time, and I day traded because I was working remotely. So I said, I've got all this time in my hands. Let's go back. I love the markets. Let me see about trading. And I found Andrew's book just as he was releasing it in early 2017, and was like, well, I was number three. I was the third person to ever join this community after him and Brian. So, um, well, I guess there was one other person ahead of me because I've got coin number four when we minted these coins. So I don't know who the other person is who was ahead of me, but in any event, um, and I started trading, and it took me a long time because I was very risk adverse. That carries through to today. I'm still risk adverse. You guys know I've talked to you about this. I come by it honestly. My take the damn trade sign because I don't want to risk my retirement capital, really. So, whereas I thought I would be successful in day trading in about 6 months, um, Andrew's first book, Trading for a Living, and anyway, so I was very risk adverse and it took me a long time. So as opposed to the 6 months I thought it would take me to become a trillionaire, I really didn't become profitable for 3 years. It took me 2.5 to 3 years to sort of get over some of my fears and start to trade and become profitable. And now that I'm what, 8, almost 9 years in, I still feel that I'm not trading up to my potential, but I know that, and I almost do it purposely because it's part of how I mentally, how I psychologically manage my risk. For me, it works. As much as I feel like I leave money on the table all the time. I'm not willing to risk my retirement portfolio or, my trading profits that I've learned to gain off of taking bigger risk. So one of these days, I'll eventually, decide to take more risk, and I just know the money's out there. But I'm happy doing what I'm doing. It works for me. I get profitable trades, majority of the time. My win percentage is somewhere around 70. It hovers between 72 and 77%. So I win the majority of the trades, but a lot of them are not big wins. So, I sort of I enjoy sort of that level of, management. So, and Ben, you're absolutely right. Like my prime directive, if you will, my prime objective, no stress. I don't want stress, right? Like I really work to eliminate stress in my life, and as much as I can make more money, it comes with pressures and stresses. So, and yeah, that rate is outstanding, Luke. Now, I always say, there's a giant asterisk on that, right? So 25% of my shares will say of my trades are full out losers. There's no getting around that. Of the remaining balance, 25% or almost half, like a third of my total trades, right? are very, very small winners. I make less than 1R because I take a partial, right, at a, anyways, I don't need to get into my trading strategy, but I take a partial, and then I get stopped out. So, so that this stuff happens to me regularly. The other third are the winners off of which I actually make most of my money. So I get, so it's a good, it works for me. It really is effective. It takes a lot of time though. I spend a lot of time in the markets and I spend a lot of time watching things and waiting for my trade setup. So for instance, I'm watching AMD right now as I'm talking to you guys and it's giving, sort of a decent mountain pass. A couple of problems with it. Um, it did get volume at the high of day. It did sort of get a high and retest. Um, I would have had to have been really tight on the entry. This move in the last minute happened really fast. And really, if I'd got an ideal entry, it would have been around here at 138.50 with a stop over the high of day, 138.77. So that would have been about a 27, let's call it a 30-cent risk, which means I would have needed 60 cents to make it worthwhile and put me down to 139.90. Sorry, 137.90. And I didn't like the risk to reward. So, this is a good mountain pass by structure. It didn't sort of meet my criteria for a good risk to reward. The other thing I didn't like about it, as this was setting up, you may notice the 50 moving average was at the same place as the VWAP. The 50 moving average is the red line on my chart. The VWAP is the blue line. And I like to see the 50 moving average well above the VWAP for me to take a mountain pass reversal. So to a question that was asked, yes, my bread and butter are these reversals, these mountain pass reversals. That's where I make most of my money and where the majority of my trades are. Um, I've got other strategies that you hear me talk about, the Rising Devil, Fallen Angel. Those are strategies that exclusively happen at the open. I've got a strategy that I trade right at the close. I often trade that, not every day because it doesn't set up every day, but when it does, I will take advantage of it. So, so there's a couple of different strategies. I've got my lightning bolt, which is a trend continuation strategy. It's the only one I've got. Most of my other strategies are reversals. Um, so yeah, and I'm watching Tesla, right? I'm waiting for Tesla to see when it dries up here at the high, and maybe there's a reversal opportunity. I like the fact that it's taken this very strong move. And and the smart move here, Paris took the smart move. He took advantage of this run higher. And he's been doing great with this thing moving all the way up. It's a great move. And that's why I keep saying, I keep watching these things. Why don't I should maybe trade it, take advantage of it a little bit more. But it's not currently in my trade book. And like I said, no risk, follow my rules. For me, that allows me to accomplish my prime objective, which is stress free. That's why I like talking with you guys here, right? And I do all this stuff for the Bearable Trading community, is because I want to help other people achieve no stress. This is an extraordinary stressful endeavor, right? You're putting your money at risk, you're jumping into the markets, and trading with well, you can't help it, right? You trade with the best in the world. So it's a very competitive environment. And it's tough. Don't let anybody ever tell you trading is easy. Sometimes people achieve results easily, but sustaining that is very, very difficult. So Andrew makes it look extraordinarily easily. But as I always say, it's like watching a world class or an Olympic athlete, right? They of course they make it look easy, but they've trained for a very long time and they're in a very elite class to be able to do that. And good for them. They should make it look easy. Doesn't mean it's easy for normal humans like us, right? So always keep that in mind. Yeah, results may vary, right? And that's what part of what, we've striven, that we've strived, I don't think striven is a word, that we've strived to do in our community is not gloss over the difficulties. This is difficult. When you do it well, you can make it look very easy. Paris today is making it look super easy, but it is not. And we are not going to tell you that it's easy, right? If you're looking for a community that'll do that, this is not it. But what we want to do really is help you understand what the challenges are so you're better equipped to face them. How do I manage my, psychology? How do I make sure that I've got strong strategies that survive different market conditions? How do I make sure that I'm not going to, risk it all because it worked once and let me do it again. Any strategy can work once, and it's almost unfortunate for those that think of how many people, if you guys have been doing this for a little while, when we had the markets that were just going up and up and up like 2 to 3 years ago, right? And it just seemed like they were irrepressible, and even earlier than that. And you had all of these fly by night, people that tell you all I have to do is, we used to call it two-finger trading, right? I buy here and sell here, right? That's all you have to do. It's not hard. It was like during the GameStop era and all those, right? Like it felt easy because everything was going up. And there can be periods of time where it is easy, but it doesn't mean you actually understand what you're doing. It's easy until it's not. And the problem is when it starts to go against you, you'll try the same thing and you're like, well, that didn't work today. Huh, let me come back tomorrow. And you try it again and it didn't work. And then you start to get frustrated or desperate, right? And you start doubling down and adding more size, and it's still not working, and it's still not working. And as you keep losing money time and time again, it gets tougher and tougher to sort of even just get back to break even, let alone making money. So that's why I want to make sure you have a strategy, you understand the strategy, and you know when to stick to it, and you know when to, you need to modify. And more importantly, you can probably identify, is the problem the strategy, or is it my ability to execute? Because 9 times out of 10, it's your ability to execute. So, so that's what we focus on as a community a lot, about that education and understanding the journey and how you make this all work. So, all right, I'm keeping a close eye on Tesla here because it looks like it may have topped. Unfortunately, it's not looking pretty enough for me to trade against it. And look at, gonna go back to AMD here for a second. Remember I said, so, my mountain pass strategy, it sort of made that mountain pass, but I didn't like the risk to reward. And sure enough, it's come into this trading zone where it's just hanging out here. So I feel vindicated that as much as the trade would have worked, at least in the short term, it wouldn't have worked with the general strength that I like to see in my trade opportunities. So I'm good. I'm good just sitting here. No trades for me so far today. That's okay. It's good to monitor every trade. PLTR, yeah, let's take a look at PLTR. Happy to do that. I wouldn't call this a barcode type stock. I mean, it's definitely trading in a range, and it's expanding that range a little bit with this move down to a low of day. But yeah, it's not directional. And there's a lot of things that are like that. I mean, Nvidia, right? One of my favorites is even trading in a range, right? Like it's definitely just sort of chopping in a range here. So when I say barcode, by the way, look, here, this is a stock that looks like a barcode. See how like this is moving within like a 1 penny range here? That that is, that's a horrible looking stock. Uh, what is no? What is the it used to be Naked Drinks? X. Hmm, what is that? That's a oops. What is XYZ? XYZ block? Yeah, well, it has some direction on it. Anyways, the other one was GE. I don't know if it's what is the other GE one? Can't remember what the symbol is for that. But or US Steel, GEV. Ugh, that's just GEV, sorry. Yeah, not so bad. Anyways, you'll know a barcode. It looks like that. That signals very clearly that it's computers trading against each other, right? Because humans are not trading within a 1 penny range. So, yeah, so Ford is something to avoid for today. X, thank you. Why could I not remember the symbol for US Steel? The heck? Why am I getting no chart data? Is US Steel not actively traded anymore? Did I miss that? I know they had the I guess it's not. Look at that. Huh. Didn't realize they would be pulled off the market. I should have known that. Yeah, I know they had the merger with Nippon Steel. I assumed that they would still be because I thought it was more of an investment deal the way the Trump administration had restructured it. So I assumed that they would continue to publicly trade. Obviously, a bad assumption on my part. Huh, interesting. Okay. Well, they've essentially gone private. What? That doesn't give me anything. It will be missed. You think D-Dog's about to break down? I mean, it could. It's heading below VWAP here. It is moving. D-Dog is moving really slow. So it's and I don't like I don't love the spread on it. It's gotten better. The spread is only 9 cents at the moment, which is better than what it had been, but still not great. What is our low flow to the day? NDRA. Yeah. I'm not showing the halts on this. There you go. Now you can see where it halted a little bit better. Wolf is the volume trader of the day. Look at the volume on this bad boy. 196 million shares. Dang, that's volume. But all right, well, Tesla definitely hit a high and is pulling back here. My good buddy AMD also hit a high and is pulling back. So let's trade that, would have worked, but I didn't jump in there. Still just Still just sitting and waiting, watching, looking for the first trade. Looks like it's not going to happen till I'm off the microphone. I don't see anything that's setting up. And my setups are such that, I know a good 10, 15 minutes in advance, right? I got lots of time to assess them. I mean, look at even AMD, right? When it hit high of day and pulled back. So if you look at the time between this candle and when the potential setup was, that was 6 minutes, 6 to 7 minutes. So I absolutely had lots of time to, make assessments about whether I was going to trade. Soundhound? What did Soundhound do? You're right. I wasn't even tracking that whatsoever. Soundhound? Yeah, nothing I would have gotten in on, to be honest. So I don't feel there's any great miss in that. PLTR at low of day, but really pretty choppy to have gotten there. So Tesla's been one of the better movers for sure today. Did I miss Corey? Maybe Elon is working on that. Maybe he's got it reserved. He doesn't have any new offerings, I think, that he wants to put out there. So just looking back at questions. T-Man 101, what about barbed wire? I don't know what that question means. Some earlier questions. What do you aim for in our profit targets? I want my initial partial, like if I take a reversal, the distance between my entry and the 50 moving average, like on a mountain pass, should be 2 to 1 for me to get into the trade. I think when I've done the math, my average return is only like 2.8 to 3.2 R. but that's across all trades. So my very profitable trades, that 25% that I say I sort of live off of or that are my most profitable, they typically come in at about 4 to 14 R. They're very profitable, right? Because they make up. I got a lot that are like point 0.3 R or point 0.4 R, and then I've got the few that are really big trades, and then of course I've got the 1 R losers, and my losers are almost always 1 R. So so it averages out, as I said, to let's just round it to about 3. But I don't target a specific R in the winners because I know when they're big winners, they're big. What I really need to do, and I can make more money doing exactly what I do if I just partialed less. The problem is all those little winners I talked about would be break even or slight loser trades. So, it's one of those I know I could make more money if I partial differently. It's tougher, I find, to make myself do it. So. All right, I just had an IPO come out, so I need to let the chat room know about this. It's not a very big IPO. ANPA. It's a low volume. So if you guys are watching for that or interested, there is a new offering that just opened. I can put this on the chart. You'll see what a new stock looks like. Whoops. ANPA. We've only got 3 candles because it's only been open for 3 minutes. Um, Low price, low volume. I usually don't look at stock offerings that are this low of an IPO price, especially this low volume. I want to see 1 million shares normally in the first minute. That tells me that it's more likely to have the volume that I like for my trading style. I do have a strategy, by the way, to trade um, IPOs. It's very specific. I need a move higher in the first 5 minutes than the 5 minute open. We haven't even closed the first 5 minute candle. I need 1 million shares traded in the opening minute, which I don't have either. Opening minute is tough. I say opening minute, first 60 seconds of trading, because sometimes that'll span 2 minutes because they don't always open on the minute. So, life, you really want me to look back at XYZ again, eh? It is dropping. Block. I don't like the volume. It's got less than 2 million shares. It's a NYSE offering. It trades on the New York Stock Exchange. Um, I'm not loving the way it's moving. I mean, I won't deny it's been a steady downturn today. So if you're trading it short, you can take advantage of that. But, its total range is less than $1. It's only moved about 60 cents from yesterday's close. I mean, I guess this total move, if you're able to get it top to bottom, is $2, 250. So that's better. But yeah, I don't know. It's just not something I would trade. But I don't begrudge you it. Go for it. It's moving well. I see AMD, yeah, popped up here again. So again, feel good about my decision to stay out of it. Would not have yielded a big trade. And that definitely would have stopped me out at my Brent entry, right? I would have got about a partial. So this would have been one of those trades that had I taken it, right? It would have been tough. I would have got in, would have had to worry about it being red for a bit, take a partial probably down here because this would be the high that, notice it bounced right off this level, the high that it set pre-market, and then it would have stopped me out. So this would have been one of those point 0.2, point 0.3 Rs type trades, right? So
Don't know if you can hear me yet, Peter, but
whoa,
I am coming into I'm coming in here hot. Coming in hot.
I hear you.
What's
I
up,
hear you.
man?
Now, we need Carlos to put you on screen there because he's going to make all those changes. But he's got family just in town. That's
No,
Yep,
that's
yep,
always
I'm
so
here.
much fun.
I had an
oh, there
alarm
he
So,
is.
on my 11 and change him. So, all right,
Okay,
let's
change him. You
yeah,
make it sound like you got to
change
change
you.
his diaper.
Yeah, right.
I thought I had it on the
I got a
keys. I had a
rant
beautiful
about
short,
that.
and it's squeezing now. But I was
Wow.
so doing well on it. I was so
Yeah.
happy. But
Remind me tomorrow, Peter. I got a rant about diapers. It's a good one.
Oh,
oh,
okay.
No, it's actually not a rant. It's just there's stuff out there that's just insane. It will not fly in
well,
my household. We'll talk
so
about that later.
Carlos, just
Yeah, what's up, man?
imagine I have a 12-year-old special needs daughter that still uses those when she sleeps. So imagine trying to
Oh
find
yeah,
it for like a full-size human and find like, good size one of those things. It's pretty
Mm.
wild.
yeah. I bet, man. I bet. Oh,
Expensivo. Muy.
yes. It is
There we
expensive.
go. I see me. Well, I
Yeah.
see my screen so
See a
far.
screen.
I see a guy who looks better than me, so that can't be me. So that must still be Peter on screen. Oh, there's a less
There you
good
go.
looking fellow. That,
There
that
you
that must
go.
be that's more like it. When I look in the mirror, that's exactly what I see, and so that's good. So hey everybody, how's everyone doing out in YouTube land there? Good to see everybody. We are so as you can see on my screen, I am short NQ. I have been short NQ. I kind of thought Peter with like all of the tariff news and all that stuff. I think Peter already cut. I think with all of the
No, I'm
like,
here.
oh yeah, I think with all the tariff news and stuff yesterday, I was kind of thinking maybe we start a little bit of a correction today. But
Mm-hmm.
apparently the market's like, meh, I'm fine. Like I don't really care. Like we're so used to this guy doing this thing with these silly things. We know he means it. Maybe he does mean it. Maybe he doesn't mean it. Like nobody cares. You know what I mean? I feel
Yeah.
like I'm a like a PTSD'd like spouse from like a really like horribly physically
Well,
abusive relationship. Like I don't even have like a reaction
yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, the markets have never liked uncertainty, and
Yeah.
certainly one of the things that the Trump administration brings is a lot less certainty about what's happening, because they tend to make quicker decisions. But you're right, the market seems to be. I think they've just made the decision largely they're going to ignore it when they can
Yeah.
because that then it stops things bouncing around so much, which can
I think
cause them some
are we
challenges.
finally getting used to this? And if we are, should we be
Ah.
scared? You know what I mean?
Well,
Because that's the thing.
yeah. And that happened, well, it happened last administration too, right? Where we were really like hanging on of every tweet that would come out, every announcement, and then it sort of calmed down a little bit. So
Right.
we're still going to see big moves in reaction to major announcements, but you're right. When people are unsure, like right now, if you're saying, do they mean it or not? Is it actually going to happen? I think the market's going to try and ignore it for as long as it can until it
Yeah,
knows it's
so
happening. So.
and I think you're right there. I think the generalized issue we've had in the morning across all of our tickers is I think we're in an area where we want to sell, but there's just not selling. We just don't,
Right.
we have too much buying still. There's just not enough selling in the market to get us to start correcting. But I feel like we're sitting on the precipice of that.
Mm.
But so far it hasn't happened. Anytime we try and sell, someone's buying.
Yeah, so far.
But we've
So,
been selling better than buying. So, you
yeah.
know, we're
Well,
on the grand scheme of shoots and ladders, the shoots are down, the ladders are up today. So it seems like we're distributing. We just
which
can't crack through whatever these bids are to the downside.
which is what I
Ah,
like being short biased. So
hey Peter, do you know this
yeah.
before you leave? Because you're smarter than me and more tuned into this kind of stuff. Do you know how long the 4th of July membership lasts? We've had a couple people ask and they want to make sure they don't miss it. I'm thinking it's the 8th of
Well,
July, so it's got to be close.
yeah, it is close. I mean, with Andrew still traveling, it'll last till the end of this week. So we don't know for sure. It
Oh,
all it
nice.
all depends on when Andrew, sort of shuts it down. So
So this
usually
is
he,
real story here with these
yeah,
deals literally just go until Andrew goes, "Hey, why is that deal still up?" You know.
that's about right.
So yeah, so
Yeah,
I would say stat, get it. You know what I mean? If
yeah,
you're on the fence or
absolutely.
if you're waiting, I would hit it. You know what I mean? It's like
Agreed.
50% off or something. It's a really good one.
It is. It's a good deal. So, all right, I'm gonna go grab
All right,
some
brother.
breakfast. Thor, it's all you, my friend. So take
Much a
care.
pleasure. Much a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
All right, later.
So for everybody out there in YouTube land, yeah, hello. Good to see you all. Great to talk trading and all of these things. Kind of give you an idea of what we're going to be looking at today. Today's just kind of a generalized day. We're looking at a relatively choppy market. any particular tickers or questions you have. So I want to remind everybody before we get too far into today, number one, maintenance, right? We got to do our maintenance tasks. You know what I'm going to ask for? Thank you. I see you. See, I love how we're kind of just, this is just working now, right? This is all helpful. So I have but one job, and that's to edutain you, and you have but one job, which is to smash said like button or something like that, right? So thank you so much for doing that. And then now number two, tomorrow. Oh, that's because I love you the most, Samir. So tomorrow, always exciting. It is. You're right. So tomorrow, always exciting, right? We're gonna have Dr. V back on with us tomorrow again. So I know a lot of you. I got some really positive messages from last week's Dr. V, some like changed my life kind of messages. So I was like, okay, so you liked it, right? So we're gonna do more of that. So Dr. V will be back on tomorrow. So we got to make sure, we kind of keep that going, right? And always be nice and do that stuff. But if you stick around for the rest of this show, right, today around 11:50. I'm going to take 5 to 10 questions that we will have so that we can have them ready for tomorrow, right? So anything you want to talk about, psychology, spirituality, neurology, right? Trade performance, right? These are going to be the perfect things. You all know, if you've looked around and tried to get set up with a performance, like a PhD to actually work through some of these major emotional issues you've kind of got going on, you know how deep in the pocket you can get. So this is a chance once a week, as long as we can keep her around, right? This is our chance once a week to make sure we work in that and do that, right? So think about it that way, and then we'll get into it and all of those good things, right? So at the end of today's session, last 10 minutes, I'm going to be chatting. We're gonna take some questions that we will be able to have ready for good old Dr. V. So so we're going to look at Google today. So right now, I don't have a play possible being called on Google, right? So now the reason why is because I'm a range trader, and we've already run out our ATR for the most part, and I really don't have an expectation that we're going to rally and go all the way back to the open price. So the most likely directionality on Google will be a close, or will be a movement back down towards 73.50. It will likely bounce and close somewhere around what's right now is today's low, right? So that would really be my expectation. Now, we could get a rally here. If you're a momentum trader or a scalper, you may be able to take advantage of a shorter term movement back up to here. Like, it can certainly squeeze, but I really don't expect this to make a very large movement. And because of that, I wouldn't be willing to really get this. I don't have a lot of downside expectation left in it, but I also don't have very much up. I kind of think we probably stay somewhere right around here. So Google, for me, I would say likely I would lean off. Let's see. Microsoft just called. I do. So Microsoft is actually calling a breakdown right now, which is interesting. So Microsoft has sold off of S4 and has tried to reoffer, and has done that on very weak volume. So we're kind of actually looking, if you were already short, this would be a good adding point potentially. If we make a new low here, you could add with your stop above here. If you're not in a position yet, this actually has a little bit more potential to the downside. Our ATR low goes all the way to 492. So if we went short here, especially if the NQ starts selling again, like I really think it's going to, right, that would allow this to sell down, and we could run out ATR low to the downside. But be careful, because we've already run a decent amount to the downside on this one. And Microsoft, I don't know. I always have trouble on this one. Let's look at Meta for you. LA is the R3 reversal. So Meta had an S3 buy call. So we sold into S3, and we actually called a buy here when we made the new high for a movement back up to R3. Now, me personally, I don't like this call necessarily, because we opened and swept up. So we're making some adjustments over time to the play calling. This call would actually not play. Right now, I would still be very interested in an R3 short, which is the play. would be the play on this since we're in a neutral range. It would be the LA, which is the R3 short. But right now we made it low enough, we actually fulfilled the R3 short by hitting S3. And then because we bounced there, we kicked it into an S3 for a movement back up. But I feel like we're distributing, right? So anyone in here, quick show of hands, does anyone here not know how to recognize generalized distribution versus accumulation? And would you like me to take a second to kind of give you kind of a, fairly kind of a rudimentary explanation to maybe help you kind of understand that? All right, cool. All right, great. All right, so have any of you, and Mark Douglas is going to hit me right now, have any of you played Chutes and Ladders? The game Chutes and Ladders, right? So if you ever go and talk to your market maker buddies that are out there, right, and I have a few, right, is when you're talking about market making, right, the market makers describe this as stair step up, elevator down, or stair step down, elevator up. Now, I'm a child, right? So I like to think of it as Chutes and Ladders, right? I got babies, right? I got my kids. We play games, right? So for me, it's Chutes and Ladders. So if you're looking at the market, and let's say at the open, right? Let's say you start off and you have what would be a candle that looks like this, and actually let me code it. So let's say I'm going to use a line candle because they're a little bit easier to draw. So I'm going to go open, low, high, and then close, right? So we closed higher than we opened, but we left a topside wick, right? So that's not an incredibly strong candle. It comes off as being indecisive, right? So when we open the next candle, if we open, move up, right, and then engage selling to the downside and sell through that candle, reoffer and close, that looks very, very weak. So as we're looking at the market in general, so let's watch Meta, for instance, is a really good example. Chutes and Ladders, right? Right at the open, what's the MOO orders do? All right, any of you not familiar with MOO orders? I think we've talked about this before. Market on open orders, right? Market on open orders are one of the easiest way to get a generalized sentiment of what the market's going to do, right? So whenever you call Charles Schwab, you call Merrill Lynch, you call Chase, you call all of these different vendors, and they say, hey, I want to sell like $8,000 of my Apple today, right? All the mom and pops out there, the institutionals, the institutional order, Royal Bank of Canada, any of these large investment firms, right? They're going to go in there in their little web portal and they're going to put on sell at the open, right? So now the web server for these large institutions have massive amounts of market orders that are just sitting there in queue waiting for a ding, 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 right? That's why we don't play the opening candle, right? Because all you're getting on the opening candle is a blast of market orders, right? This is why the market makers or our specialists pull the orders off the book, right? Because why not just go ahead and let those orders fly and see what happens, right? So if you're thinking of it that way, reading the first candle, what is your thoughts about the first candle? Work with me here, YouTube. I like this to be interactive. What do you think about the first candle here? If you were reading, and obviously we already know we're opening in a selling range, in a range that we would like to sell. So we're looking for selling. But like right at the open, what is your first thought about that market on open orders that fired for our first minute? Is that a strong candle? Or is it a weak candle? Or is it an indecisive candle? I think it's pretty indecisive, right? However, there was a lot of buying, and for all of the buying that came in, how high could we close above the open price? Maybe like 30 cents? So for me, that actually comes off as being a relatively weak candle. It's absorption, right? Nailed it, Mark. Not surprised, right? I actually read this as being very weak or weak-ish, but I don't know. It's more indecisive than anything else, but it is showing bid absorption. When people buy, we're not going up like we should. For all of this massive amounts of volume, this should be a bullish engulfing candle, right? But it's not. So now the next candle, what is the response to that buying candle by the generalized market? What was the response when we offered everyone an attempt to buy again? What was the response to that? We sold, right? We sold. And not only did we sold, we closed as a bearish engulfing candle with really nice volume. Now, was it less volume than the open? Of course, but the open was absorbed, right? We moved down. So chutes and ladders already at the open. Which one's the chute? Which one's the ladder? Which one struggled to move while the other one moved very freely and easily? The sell, right? The sell candle at the open moved freely and easily. Now, look what happens here as we come back up to offer R3. Is that a chute or is that a ladder? It took us 1 minute to flush from 722.35 all the way down to 720. And then it took us 5 minutes to get back to 721. Is that a chute or is that a ladder? It's a ladder, right? So now look, we didn't move in the same amount of time all the way back below low of day. Is that a chute or is that a ladder? Chutes, right? We move down faster and easier than we're moving up. Now again, look as we buy up. Look at how small the moves are. Look how we stair step. Even when we squeeze, right? It took a lot of volume to push that candle up. And then we struggled. And then again, waterfall, right? Shoot. And again, and look, whenever we move up, 5 minutes to only move this far, and then 4 minutes to move this far, right? Every time we sell faster and easier. If we start to move back up, again, look how the volume starts to taper, and we struggle to move back up to this area. And then once we get higher, boom, we drop away in just 2 or 3 minutes, right? 15 minutes to get back up, 3 minutes to get back down. Chutes and ladders, right? So this is a distribution cycle, right? We are distributing. We are going up and hitting a seller and pulling away from them and going, we're fulfilling bids to the downside. The market maker is above the bids, and they are averaged above the bids, and they are now selling down into those bids and filling them, right? When they bounce is when they run out of market sells. Then here, boom, wham, look at that big sell right there, right? Shoot, right? Now we pull back up. Is this a reversal here? I would say not based upon this chart, right? This looks like right now. Now, if we don't have enough volume to sell through this bid, maybe they come all the way back up here and see if they can get a sell again, and then they'll waterfall down. But still, this is a distributionary chart. So if you want to read an accumulation, it's exactly the same thing, just reversed, right? So all you got to think about when you're reading your chart is start looking at the way we respond to the offer, right? When we offer, do we sell easier than we buy? Does it take longer to move up than it takes to get down, right? This is how we can the most easily determine overall intentional directionality, right? The market maker, specialists, or algorithms in this instance are all offering, and we're moving down more easily on the sell side, right? So if you're going to be in a position right now, do you want, if you were looking at this chart right now, and let's say you were going to take a long at S3, would you want, as a momentum trader especially, would you want to take this long? And why? I'll wait. And then I'll answer Callan's Fitness. I'm still waiting. Would you, if seeing the way that this thing and how easily it sells and how long it takes to move up, right? Does it seem reasonable to be long as a momentum trader in a ticker like this? Right? No, absolutely not, right? So this is kind of what I mean. You know what I mean? We don't want it. This is not a long, right? It doesn't matter what your strategy says or anything has. This isn't a distributionary cycle. You only want to short this. Even if it is a long, it's not a long for you, right? Because you're going to be in it. It's going to go back to yesterday's close. You're going to feel really good about it. And then in 3 seconds, it's going to waterfall back through your stop. And you're going to ask, what the heck just happened? What happened is you're going long during a distributionary cycle, right? We're selling right now, right? So it doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter what pattern it makes. It doesn't matter any of those different things. This thing is selling, right? So over time, we're going to move lower. Why? Because we're selling, right? So if this is one of the easiest things you can do to make overall trading so much easier for you, is to take the time to really, I would take your time today after our show's done here today, right? And take some time and go through your charts now and look at them and start from the beginning of the day, right? And I'm still holding. I did get a nice short on full size NQ, and I'm still holding my initial trade from pre-market. So I'm still in a short that I've been in all day because, again, it's a distributionary cycle, right? So I've been short all freaking morning. I've just been holding this because I think if we end up correcting today, and I still think because of the stupid tariff news that at some point in time we're going to kick into a sell here and we're going to have a really big flush towards the end of the day. So I want to make at least $1,000 on this position. If I get over $1,000 on it, I'll probably put a stop target on for if it comes back through $1,000 and just take that. But if this gets into a good waterfall, I want to try and run out the ATR low on this thing. I want to see if we can get all the way down to S6. I think that would be around a $2,000 trade for me on this one. So, and I already hit one. I ended up scalping a full size up here when it came back to R3 and offered. I hit that and then cut that. So that was $500, risking about 100. So I just took that. So now I know I can just hold on to this, and whether it wins or loses, I really don't care. Right. So yes, I absolutely do, Starlight. So this trade that I'm in right now is being mirrored through multiple accounts, including my Interactive Brokers account, as well as it's 3 total funded accounts, and then my IBKR, my Interactive Brokers account. So I'm using the Ninja control panel paired with Replicanto in order to do the copy trading. So right now, although I'm up 500 on this position, I'm actually up. I'm up $2,000 on this position, right? I don't use it with stocks. I only use it with futures, but yes, it should, as far as I understand. I just haven't done it. All right, so looking at NQ right now and reading it off of those principles, let's do the same read here, right? Let's do the same read here, right? At the opening under R3, what did our MOO orders say on the NQ or the QQQ today when we opened? What did they say to us? It certainly wasn't a strong candle, right? Maybe it wasn't a weak candle, right? So, oh, sorry, what did I miss, Waldy? Wadi PLTR. All right, I'll get to it in just a sec. Yeah, I'll hit it. So it definitely wasn't a strong candle. But what was the response to that candle? What did we do? We sold, right? So we had indecision and then we sold, right? So now after we sold, ask me, elevate chutes and ladders here. This was a little bit annoying, I have to admit, but the volume dropped as it went back up. But that was annoying. This is uncalled for. But it for any of you who weren't in right now, what a beautiful freaking. Did y'all know that there's an update to Thor mode? Did I tell everyone to make sure you're updated? I'm so sorry if I didn't. You can see here I've actually added, as it came back in and we called, it actually added in an exit box now. So if you're getting in, you want to be in somewhere in the darker shaded box, and then you want to exit outside the lighter shaded box. So that provides you a little bit of So it projects it in there. So it makes it a little bit easier for you to gauge, not being too tight. I actually recommend running the stop as wide as you can, but at least outside of that box. And then as you adjust the eagerness settings, this box gets bigger or smaller. So which I think is really fun. So yeah, anyway. So make sure you got that. All you got to do is you go here, reload, like go up to here and like actually click and hit like up here and hit like reload tab if you're not seeing it. Sometimes it takes 24 hours to propagate, but I've already seen it come in, so it should be there. And then go here and there should be a purple swirl right next to this that you can click and update. Once it's there, you just go into settings and under options preset, select Thor, and it's there for you. So SOFBAR, the reason I need 3 accounts as I move over to PLTR. Oh, wait, hold on. I want to leave this on here. Sorry. And I'm going to use this for looking at PLTR. So the reason I replicate on my accounts is because of a buying power deficit. So SOFBAR, I am a trailer park raised normal average Joe IT guy raised on a farm. I ain't got the big cash, man. I do have a really nice, decent amount in my IBKR account. But I am a sole, I'm a single dad and I'm a sole income owner or earner, right? So I can't put on the kind of risk in my main account because I have to understand if something happens with the stock market or if my job, something goes wrong, I may need to draw off of that account. And there's probably with my expenses, probably only enough to maybe run like a year of my life the way I'm running it right now, right? And in order for me to get to that point, you know what I'm saying? So I can't risk really too much out of my account. So they came up with these funded accounts and they wanted to start paying me to take their money, and I'm perfectly okay with that, right? So what I do is let's see here. I do not like the idea of buying. I don't like PLTR for a trade right now. I think PLTR VPA wise, sorry, it looks like a short, but it's in a buying range. So for me, this is kind of one to maybe stick away from. I would be more willing to buy this if it bought above S3 and then re-offered from the top side and the market started buying. But right now, the market's fairly convincingly selling right now, which that was a nice sell. Let's go see how that looks. Oh yeah, there we go. That's pretty solid. Mark, you still short, right? Everyone, Mark Douglas has like been one of my best trading buddies for maybe 7, 8 years or something like that now. So he should be still short too. But yeah. So gold. I like gold. Oh my gosh, gold. Gold, look, ATR low. See what I mean about aiming for these ATR levels? Like, look how we ran all the way to ATR low today. This is just S6 where we calculated our ATR low. Look how, if you were short in gold, what a beautiful target that would have been. Now, for me, I don't really see a reason to think that gold, I mean, if the market started to sell more aggressively, I think gold could bounce here. Gold often runs as an inverse of the market, but gold also running at kind of a premium right now. So I think right now, I think gold still needs to get a little lower before it's a buy. Like maybe get down to monthly support 3. So I think maybe it becomes a buy tomorrow or maybe the day after tomorrow. So, but right now I think it's got a little bit more downside left in it before it's going to be ready for a buy. The ATR high and low, this is also by Bruz. It's called adaptive ATR limits. So Bruz X. So I just set them to basic with an ATR length of 14, and that's it. But they're some, I mean, I just love them. They're great. Come on, so annoying. You see what I mean? Like they just won't give up. I mean, we're basically just chopping up and down around PDC. It's so annoying. But luckily I'm already up, like I'm already up 500, $2,000 today. So I'm not really worried about this. I really want to hold this trade and see what happens. Like even if I take like a couple $100 loss on it, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. I'd still be up like over $1,000 for the day. I really want to see a hard sell like that again from here. Like we'd started to sell really good there. Again, the volume's still coming in on the sell side, but we're just not getting enough stinking sellers into the market to drive these big bids down here. All right, 11:30. Just a reminder to everybody, couple of things. Number one, if you're enjoying the live trading, the commentary, all of the help, I would really like some help trying to expand this hour segment of this show. So if any of you who are more savvy in social media and stuff like that decide that you would be interested, if you wouldn't mind like sharing this show into your social medias, especially like IG or X, feel free to tag me, tag Andrew, try and get like a cool screenshot or something and just kind of help get this out there because I want to get more higher, I'm going to keep bringing the community like Dr. V, hopefully every week, and then other people. But, in order to keep doing all of this, I need to really increase our reach here so I can start bringing on, like I said, I want to start bringing on market makers for you. I want to start trying to reach out to authors and bring authors on and stuff like that. So if you guys can kind of help me create the show you want here, but it's always all about engagement and helping get it out there. So the more you can do, the more you can share and help, then that it allows me to bring that in, right? Thank you so much, GP. So what this also does is, obviously, like, as long as we can keep doing this and having fun, I'm still going to work hard to give you guys, the best indicators we can get and keep it, it allows you to stay up to date with when I have updates and stuff like that. Lenny is on vacation in Spain, so we mistimed that one. So hopefully next week we can do that. That's what I was hoping for, but he went on Spain because he's a baller. So if I would have shorted Google at R3, no, I wouldn't have, unfortunately. Google was certainly a short at the open, but when it opened, wicked up and wicked down in like 5 seconds. That happened. There was not enough timing in this ticker for me to enter, and I'm not going to short at S3 even if it is a short, and it was. This is one of the issues with, but with the narrow range, it certainly fit, but it just was a really sloppy open for me. You know what I mean? Hood has already run out its ATR low. So it shouldn't go much lower than this. And you see it's already pulled its ATR high well inside of range. So it's deviated a bit today. I don't have it marked as any play possibles off of my system, but it looks VPA wise like it's a short right now. But ATR wise, it doesn't have a lot of downside. So unfortunately, Hood might not be the best one to get involved with. So distribution has ended. So this is an interesting thought, right? So technically, distribution happens at multiple time frames, right? So you can have distribution within the day that's moving between the shorter, smaller term orders that are nearer the price. That's distributionary tactic, right? Or you can have larger, longer term, distribution, which is kind of more of what I think we're doing now. If we start distributing here, we will distribute for days. You know what I mean? Maybe even a week, right? As far as I'm concerned, I consider us to be in what I would consider to be, correction territory. You know what I mean? Where we're at, I'm expecting for us to engage sellers of a very large proportion, especially with the recent tariff news. However, the market apparently has got significantly more comfortable with that, and it hasn't been enough, because normally tariff news would hurt NVIDIA. Tariff news would hurt, it would hurt. So that hurts our tech sector, but now the market's kind of like, we'll wait and see. Right. So, and that's a different posture for the market because maybe the market thinks they can hold for another couple of weeks because its tariffs aren't for like 30 days or something. But normally the reaction to this is much more aggressive. So it's pretty interesting to see how the market's handling this. I actually thought we were going to have a significantly harder flush today because we didn't correct yesterday after the news came out. So I thought today, that's why I've been very interested in a short here today, because I really think today could end up being a very large movement down to our ATR low. So, but we'll see. So far, again, we get good sellers, but then we buy up. So I just don't really, I'm really not sure what they're at here. They're just being annoying. So, oh well. Anybody, of course, Harish. The Thor mode indicator for TradingView is for everybody. Okay, we're also going to be moving a version of this indicator into Trading Terminal for all of the people who are members in there. But as of right now, there's no reason, like it's, you know what I mean? It's for everyone. If you get my book, A Complete Day Trading System, which I published in 2022, I am going to start working on an updated version soon. So with some of the new stuff, but it's, it's all the same. So if you have my book, then you'll understand really well what all of these different indicators mean. I cover, the where, the when, and the how. So what the CAM strategies are based on. I also talk about order book imbalance and market auction theory, VPA, you name it, right? So, but yeah, exactly. All right, so we are offering previous day's close again. Again, what's the response? Do we get selling again here? At some point, this algorithm is going to realize we can get enough sellers in here and it's going to drive this thing. Maybe. Maybe. All right, don't forget, everybody, in about 10 minutes or so, about 10 or 12 minutes, I'm going to open the floor to questions. Okay, so, and this is for Dr. V tomorrow. I want to make sure that we have some questions that, it's that way we're not just kind of what happened last time was when the questions started coming in because the chat started moving so fast, which I love, but we couldn't really focus on the comments around the questions and then find the questions, right? So that just really doesn't work. So what we're going to start, what I'm going to do today, so and what I'll start doing is every Tuesday, the last 10 minutes before Wednesdays, right? I'm gonna go ahead and take those questions. Also, for anyone who has been under a rock and not following this channel, if you're from Florida or the Southeast, or you have a plane, or don't mind getting on planes, this weekend on Saturday, I am having a small meetup. It's kind of like a belated birthday hangout party, chill with everybody, just have a lot of fun, kind of thing. Just want to talk trading. So I've got about maybe 10 or 15 of my mentees are all coming out. Also got some BBT members and stuff like that are going to come hang and spend some time talking stocks and stuff. So if you're looking more for the communal aspect of trading and actually getting to like make friends and do fun things and get to really talk and share stories, really fun opportunity. I got us a place at a restaurant called Oddbirds. And we're going to be hanging out there. We got a bartender already dedicated for us. So all you got to do is pay him a little money when you get a drink, and you can order any food you want off your menu. So, all you got to do is pay for that. I'm paying for the venue. So come on by and hang out with me. It's not, there's no limit to whoever can come by. So, I think we've got like 20 to 25 people on schedule to come hang out. So come on and do that. So it'd be fun. So yeah. I even think Mark Douglas might come. You never know. He said he was coming, but you never know. He may not. All right. So for the life of us, we just cannot get ourselves to give up the king. It's in St. Augustine, Florida. So the gold one, let me look at the gold one for you because that I want to talk about. All right. So let's do this on gold real quick first, okay? So let's I'm going to help everybody here as best as I can to become VPA like master ninjas. Okay. My main edge to my trading ability was reading VPA. And actually, so price analysis obviously is like candlesticks, right? Does it close higher? Does it close lower? It's an engulfing candle. It's an inverted hammer. It's a hangman. All of these different candle formations. But how do you know if it's actually a hangman, or if it's actually engulfing, if it's actually strong, or if it's more likely it's weak? VPA will unlock that. I will highly recommend Anna Cooling's Complete Guide to Volume and Price Analysis. Now, I'm saying that as someone who has a very good VPA, greatest of all time. No, it has a great VPA chapter in it, right? Don't get me wrong, but I am not the king of VPA. There is a queen of VPA, and her name is Anna Cooling, right? So I want to get her on the show one of these days, and maybe if I keep groveling, begging, and showing up at her front door, and which is the only time I ever go across the pond is when I'm groveling at Anna Cooling's doorstep and being rejected. So one of these days we're gonna make this happen, right? So all right, so getting in here to the beginning. So what does the MOO candle, or the opening candle here at 9:30, tell you about gold? What does that candle tell you? And if you say nothing, I will accept that as an answer. Indecision, maybe. I don't even know if it's indecision. I think it's no decision, right? So indecision means we have a balance of buyers and sellers. In this moment, we got nothing, right? This isn't even indecision. This is nothing. This is low volume and no movement, no engagement whatsoever, right? So now so as we go on our second candle, we do buy, but what do you think about the volume on that buy? Does it look like really it's decent volume. It pushes up. I think it looks a little strong. But again, we didn't really like engulf or buy, right? So I'm still kind of thinking indecision, right? So I still don't have enough information here for me to make a play, right? So right now, if you're getting long here, you're kind of gambling a little bit. Now, these levels are very strong and they work a lot. Now, I'm not looking at the order book either, but I have a feeling the order book was relatively bearish, right? So now a VPA, volume and price analysis, right? So now as we try to buy, we have a strong candle. What is the response to the market to that buy attempt? It's sold, right? So again, we're indecisive. Now, what happens when we try and buy? We get stuck. That is a very weak candle, okay? Now, this would be a kind of an indecision candle normally, but in this context, that is an insanely weak candle, right? We sold down back into the value area, like near discount, and offered that, and nothing happened, right? We literally just sat on it. And what's the response to that? A really big sell. And it had volume. So at this point now, if you were just going to screenshot this and just look at this spot right there, what would you think by the time you're about 5 minutes into this candle? What's your initial take on this ticker? And I know you can already see the results, so it's kind of like taints it a bit. It's selling, right? We've tried to buy. Anytime we've tried to buy, our result of buy couldn't claim premium. And anytime we did, we rejected it and we sold easier than we bought, right? Chutes and ladders, right? How long did it take to get high? 3 or 4 minutes? How long did it take to get twice the distance to the downside? 2 minutes, 3 minutes, right? Now, let's continue this read. What happens when we pull back up? What happens to our volume? Our buy volume drops while our sell volume elevates, right? Again, chutes and ladders, right? Anytime we move down or close lower, we get an increase in that. Did I get this MOO concept from market makers at NYSE? The MOO concept comes from, yes, market makers at NYSE, and also, yes, talking with institutional traders. I've been blessed to be in some circles. I have maybe a half a dozen people that are actively market makers or were market makers that now work for brokerages that I can talk with on fairly rare, decent, some of them higher tier than others, obviously. I also have a couple buddies I've made that are programmers on the market, and they actually work for some pretty successful specialists. And then also I have, I've actually mentored in day trading institutional traders. So I actually know about the institutional process because as I was mentoring day traders that were institutional traders that were coming to day trading, I got to learn about their side while I taught them my side. Right. So the MOO order is specifically mostly it's not manipulation. People call it manipulation. Stop. ICT concepts. I'm not saying they're wrong. Don't get me wrong. Like they are valid, but they're about as valid as an ABCD pattern. Right? ABCD patterns are going to be all over the place, just like ICT is going to be all over the place. You need to pair it with a level of significance. Right? If it's at the high of day or in a right thing and you see a certain thing, right? Maybe, right? But inevitably, if you get too into the ICT, you just end up, it's like a dog chasing its tail around. You're just going to see IVGs, VGs, FVGs, blocks, things. It just like you'll never take a trade if you really get into that. So as we pull back and we now re-offer this bid that we broke, right? So you can see here, we broke this bid when we sold, right? So this is our order block. What happens when we reoffer that order block? What was the response? We sold, right? So at this point, we have sold, we've reoffered, and we've sold. We are selling, right? So that's all there is to it. So now that you know it's selling, we got to get short. Now, for me, in my strategy, would I have shorted this? Nope. Right? I mean, it was technically a neutral range, so you could have potentially played an S4 breakdown, but it's a wider range, but the ATR permitted it. So I would have just stayed away from this one today. Right? But I mean, it was cleanly selling. It just didn't really fit my playbook, which is why I never looked at it. Stinking NQ, come on. Stop it. With the stinking PDC. It just will not give this thing up, man. Like, can you believe this thing? Can you explain the logic behind trades that don't work when it goes against VPA analysis? Natalia, would it be possible for you to provide me such trades? Because I'm going to kind of interject. I don't think that happens. But I mean, there obviously are exceptions to every rule, right? And maybe that's the easiest way I can say that, right? Yeah, but like Meta, if it did something, isn't like if it reverses back to the open, like let me know tomorrow maybe, and well maybe not tomorrow, like Thursday we could look at it, right? Because right now, it could reverse to the open and then come all the way back down, right? And so that still fits a distributionary cycle, right? So if we don't have enough selling, we can't go lower, right? So my answer to that would be we didn't have enough selling. Right? So they had to come back up to find sellers, and then they went back down, which is what's going on with NQ right now, right? We're in a distributionary cycle. It's obviously we lose volume when we try and buy, right? We lose volume when we try and buy. We increase volume when we try and sell, right? So this is a distributionary cycle, but we do not have enough buyers, apparently, to go through these bids to the downside. Anytime we start making new highs, someone's coming in and buying PDC, and it keeps allowing the price. And if people are going to buy, we're going to run the top side, right? It's what the algo is going to do. So now we have more ask close to the price, and we have a relative balance between buying and selling. So we're moving up. But again, do I think we're going to keep moving up? No. I think we're in a distributionary cycle. I think we're going to stair step up, and then I think we'll waterfall. And then in about 3 or 4 minutes to 5 minutes, we'll be all the way back down below this low again. Right? So because I think we're in a distributionary cycle. Right? So that means I want to short, not long. It doesn't matter if it's a long. I don't care. If we're distributing, I want to be short. So now if we go against the VPA, the only other thing I can say, and this is the part you're probably going to really not like, right, is remember when you're a trader, you're trading for the rule, not the exception, knowing that the exception will and often occur. Again, you're trading the rule, not the exception, knowing that the exception will and often occur, right? This is about creating, I just saw more bid coming in on level 2 on NVIDIA. This is, so when you're taking a trade, you trade setups, not trades, right? This is why I'm short from where I'm short from, right? I'm not short here, right? How can you trade with me online? So the easiest way to trade online with me is actually to be a member of Peak Capital's Bootcamp. I trade live not every morning, every Tuesday and every Thursday, I trade live in Peak Capital. The second easiest way is to be a part of my private mentoring group. I trade live with them 3 days a week, as well as I let them hang out with me while I'm trading with Peak Capital. So, but that is a very limited group. I only work with about 20 people at a time. So the easiest way to get to me the fastest is actually to subscribe and come in to Peak Capital. So I'll make sure we have, I'll make sure we share the links on the bootcamp information. I think the next bootcamp I think we have 1 month off and then the next one kicks up. So, and we're at the end of one right now. So I think it's July. I think we're off Sept and then we keep, July, I think we're off August and start in September. So I'm not inside the main BBT chat room at all right now. I'm out here in YouTube every day from 11 to 12. I'm behind the paywall for Thursday night mentoring, which allows you to come in and hang out with me every Thursday night and ask me private questions there. And that's kind of where I hang out with all my best trading buddies and we just hang and relax. So you can do that. So 7 minutes left in the day and I want some questions, right? So I want some questions for Dr. V for tomorrow, right? So if y'all want to go ahead and, and give me some of those, start coding them in. I'll try and get like maybe, 10 of them. And then I'll ask everyone which ones they think are the best ones. And then I will email those and we will be ready for them tomorrow. How often do I shave my head? Okay, I don't need that one to answer for tomorrow. Probably 2 times a week. Fear when holding. How to overcome. By Al NYK. Okay. Fear of going back red. What do you mean? So is it the same thing, right, Al? Like kind of like when you're in a position, you've got positive P&L. How do you like right now in my position, for instance, right, Al? Like I'm up $296 on this position, right? I've gotten much lower than this. I was up almost $500, $600 at one point. Now I've given back half of that, but I'm still holding, thinking about like, I still think I can get to a better target. So how do you get over that? Okay. Yeah. I like that. Oh, okay. Technique for overcoming a bad losing streak. Let's call that a losing streak. Is that fair? Sully? All right. I blew up my account due to averaging down and being unable to take a loss. So I changed the system to scalping where I take losses more often, but they're smaller and more manageable. All right. So, do you think scalping instead How about, do you think scalping can be a good way to manage averaging down? Does that sound right? Number 10, I'm going to put, we want more meditation. Like the losses are more easily stomached, so I mentally condition myself to hold. Okay, so yeah, we'll do that. How to reduce control thoughts before starting trading for the day or even the day. I like that one a lot. I wish I could just copy right out of your guys' thing, but I have to type. Okay, so hold on. How to reduce / control thoughts before starting trading for the day or during. And this one is by Samir. And then the other one was Nav, right? All right, I got Al, I got Sully, I got Nav, I got Samir. Yeah, I trade almost I trade mostly every day. I have had days where I have not had setups on those days, so I did not trade that day. But I do actively try and trade and take trades every single day. Like I'm in a trade right now, which is being annoying. Ben, Thor, holding ourselves accountable and keeping I just like how to hold ourselves accountable. How to hold ourselves accountable, I think is a good one for, I think that'd be a great topic for her. Sorry, I didn't skip it on purpose. Just re-ask it. If I skipped it, I think I found it. Explain how to use ATR for entries. Okay, so I'm getting questions right now for tomorrow's session with Dr. V. That's why I skipped it. ATR is just using the BRUZX adaptive ATR limits on TradingView. How to hold ourselves accountable. Ben Colts. Unable to get into a trade for fear of losing money or being wrong. I'm a new trader, 5,000 account using 10% capital. How can I overcome this? How to overcome the fear associated with trading a small account. And that is Dan. All right, that's 6 out of, or 7 out of 10. All right, why is buying or selling the correct? Why is, how do you just say this? Why is buying at the low so much scarier than buying a breakout despite better RVR? And I don't disagree with that, by the way, either, Throne. Okay, Throne, not okay, Throne. Okay, let's see here. How to be more patient. How to be more patient waiting for setup. One more. And I think everybody is pretty much unique ones. That's Glenn. Oh, Stink. I accidentally hit the wrong button. Hold on. My lock key is right next to that. All right, Glenn. How to overcome bias, or should I? Should I overcome bias? And if so, tips. How to justify being a BBT member, hanging out with Thor and being awesome. That was an easy one. Nav again. Okay, everybody. So I've got all of my, I got questions here. And I'm ready to rock and roll that. So thank you everybody for sitting those in and getting those, helping me. I want to make sure tomorrow it's going to be contact packed. So we're going to be on with Dr. V. We're going to be going over things. So make sure to like, subscribe. Thank you for sharing. And I will see you all tomorrow. Much love. Keep it green, people.